All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this little side for the No Name podcast, where we don't have a name for it, but I'm thinking of calling it like No Name Reviews.
I am perfectly fine with that.
All right, yeah. Welcome to No Name Reviews, a section of a side project of the No Name podcast, where Jess and I, since we're pretty much like out of the four of us, we're the movie watching half of the group. We will take some time to actually talk about our opinions of movies.
Yeah, we're
Because
the
Raz
cool
doesn't
kids.
yeah, because Raz doesn't really watch movies, and Eddie, I don't know what he does.
Yeah, we're the ones that did get beat up in school. Wait, what?
That's not. Oh god, I'm triggered.
Oh shit, triggered.
And so what we're hoping to do is that this time around we'll like talk about some movies. We'll of course talk about like the biggie, and then we'll give all like our thoughts on it. Of course, like any like good notes, bad notes, whatever. We're basically just sitting here talking about movies. We're two no-name guys talking about movies.
Yeah, it's about a little movie. You might have heard of it. It's a little indie film. It has a purple guy in it. I think he has like some kind of glove. Maybe the power glove. I'm not so sure about it, but you might like it.
He takes the Nintendo Power Glove and then just like fucking cheats at video games.
Yeah, you know, it's a little film. You know,
The video game of life.
Yeah. But before we get to that,
Okay, so Jazz, since this is our inaugural episode, we are wanting to do this in a big. We were wanting to do this with like multiple movies, and so if you would kindly please show/tell people what are the movies that we're going to be reviewing today.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the good old Rampage, aka the game you might have played when you were little, or if you're old as dirt. Then we're gonna start off with another
I'm somehow
one.
both.
Somehow we're both. And then we're gonna go off with a little movie you might have heard of called Truth or Dare. Ugh. And then after that,
Hollywood, come on.
I
First it was
know.
board games, now it's this.
Can't get a break,
What?
damn it.
It's the Ring Around the Rosie movie.
I know, right? That needs a good one and a sequel. Give it
Oh,
5
yeah.
sequels.
Rosie's back.
And then after that, we go with the Super Troopers 2. 420
long-awaited
bitches.
sequel. The long-awaited sequel from Broken Lizard. Is it as good as they say or not? Who knows?
Did I smoke a blunt that day? You might have to find out. And then, without further ado, we talk about Infinity War.
We talk about the movie with a purple guy. That's right, it's FNAF. I'm just kidding, it's Infinity War.
Joke's on you, it's actually Fortnite. But let's get on started with our first one, shall we?
All right, so we're starting off with Rampage, a little movie, which is, well, it's gonna be kind of tough to talk about because like what is tied to this is, and I think this is the best one to start off with because since we are primarily a gaming podcast, what better way to start than with a gaming movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just get like a little quick side story into like the history. It was like little cheap arcade game. Started off in the 80s. Went on to have like honestly like really 2, 3 big title sequels. Like when we're talking Kingdom Hearts, we think about 1, 2, and 3, and then there's also all the like little side shit. Rampage, I think it had like around 3 similarly, and then of course like a bunch of like spin-offs, remakes of 2, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a game that I thoroughly enjoyed. I fucking want to get my hands on World Tour or Universal Tour, one of the two. But I want to try more Rampage too.
Good games, all.
Yep. I mean, I imagine that it's one of those franchises where like it started to go downhill the longer it went, but
Yeah,
life.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
Even if it's good, it's still going downhill.
And so this movie is based off of that, which is The Rock, a zoo guy, ex-military. He works at this zoo as a caregiver for all these animals, and he has a gorilla that he takes care of named George. One day, while shit happens in space, these canisters of strange gas fall along the United States. Well, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they all land in three different places and all affect these three animals in strange ways. They affect a wolf, the gorilla, George, and a crocodile, Lizzie.
Mm.
And as the title says, they go on a rampage, and so The Rock has to stop these creatures because he's The Rock.
Oh, there you go. There he's the Rock. That's for sure. Now, I gotta ask a couple of questions before we get further than this. Is the Rock like one of those 2 weeks to retirement kind of people? Where-
No, he's kind of like oh man, too bad we don't have like sound effects because I'd ask you to do like a fucking record scratch.
no.
It'd be like because it's like it's The Rock is out there enjoying his life, derpity derp, fucking working with zoo animals, and one day fucking the canisters fall down, and then his life turns upside down.
Oh gosh, this sounds like a damn sitcom for like the Switch Bodies movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to play it up, but it's like no, it's like yeah, he's just working at like this zoo, like fucking the canisters fall down. I know I'm repeating myself, but I
I
fucking
mean, hey,
have.
we gotta get the point across, damn it. Canisters fall down. Shit is about to go down.
Exactly. They fall down from this government weapons project, and so like it affects the animals. Like they start changing over time, and then they like the monsters like go on a rampage. They go to Chicago, I believe it was, because fucking people people hate Chicago apparently.
Hmm.
It's like because wasn't it like the Dark Knight set in Chicago?
I think so. It was
Yeah, so
either Chicago or New York. They both hate those places.
yeah, it's just like fuck these guys. And so The Rock obviously is concerned for George's welfare, and so he tries to go out of his way to help him. And this mysterious science lady, played by let me see, Naomi Harris,
Ooh.
she goes to help The Rock to help. She goes with The Rock to help protect humanity from these rampaging animals.
Hmm. Interesting. So here's a question for you, because I've been hearing this around a lot around the net. Because this isn't the normal origin for this. Well, practically the game. And as you said, they come through from the canisters and then they grow. They're not humans. What is your aspect on that? Like, what do you think?
Well, Mr. Belichick,
Yes, yes, go on.
we're sitting on like these two like chairs and just like staring at each other. It's just like, so what do you think? But well, I guess I did play the original, and I played more of the original than I did two, and I just thought two was really fun. I just never got a chance to play it as much as I'd like. But yeah, it's basically the same story. Humans turn into monsters and they go berserk on a rampage and like destroying the cities. And uh, honestly, that is one of my cons about this movie is that, but as a game purist,
Hmm.
um I'm someone that wished that they could have made it closer to the original games where it's the people becoming the animals. And this one it's like just straight up animals turning into giant monsters and going around destroying the city. And they do give a reason for why the creatures are destroying the city, but I feel like the writing could have been done better if it was actual people like, destroying the city themselves instead of it being like, oh, well, here's some random mindless animals going around doing this shit.
Like, there could have been more weight to it.
There could have been more weight, and I'll also throw this in because I mean it's been like a little while, so I guess we could start like with some spoilery stuff, right?
All right, let me go ahead and click the spoiler tab, and you're good to go.
Okay, well, because see, the story about it is that in Rampage, the game, it's like I mean, there's not much story from what I know. It's just people turning into animals. In this one, it's the animals turn into giant monsters because they gain because they're part like the experiment that was in space. It's part of a government thing where they're talking about like this special genetic editing, like you see
Hmm.
in the trailer. And it's supposed to be like, oh, okay, you get this cat like this gas, and it gives you like attributes from like, squirrels, hedgehogs, fucking elephants, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And and so like that's where you see like these monsters getting like some of their abilities. And
Mm.
because they're just like random ass animals, one of the things that like the villains do uh is they try to get the animals to go over to Chicago because they have this radio antenna that is blasting out this loud sound that like it's one of those like sound effects that or like sounds that only like animals can hear because it hits a specific frequency. It's
Hmm.
it's one of those situations. They're playing this like note over throughout like they're blasting this note out, and so that's what's attracting the animals. It's attracting them to Chicago because the bad guys are trying to collect their DNA or are trying to collect their bodies so that they can get like the serum that's inside them, because like the way that the movie starts off, it's the serum's basically all but gone.
Hmm. Okay. That is way more complicated than it ever needed to be.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I think that. Well, I mean, like that's why they go and end up going to the city. But I'm just saying that, like, I feel like it could have been so much simpler if it's just like, oh, like the Rock's a test subject. He doesn't have to be a scientist. He just has to be a test subject. He signs up. He like gets the serum. He becomes George. Other people like become the other guys, and then they just brawl. It could be simpler.
Well, I'll tell you the exact reason why The Rock isn't George is because they need his face. Like that's what sells the movie is The Rock. So if he's a monster half the time, you lose his face. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's the reason why.
Yeah, and like that's a problem I have like with a lot of movies, that it's so rare for them to actually stick to keeping the actors' faces covered, that you for like it's always like something that I found irritating when it came to that. Like for
Mm.
example, the only movie I can think of where the actor had the mask on the entire time for the role in recent years that I've seen is Dread.
Hmm.
You know, it was Josh Brolin, right?
For the new one or the old one?
The new one.
I just had his name in my head. Urban.
Oh,
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban, yeah. Like that's one of the things I respect about that movie is because he had the mask on the entire time.
Mm.
They didn't have like a moment where it's just like, and it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, he's got it on for 5 minutes. Okay, now he has to take it off. It's like, why? You need that for protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus, it's a CGI world, so they could have like just CGI'd in like The Rock's face.
They could have. I don't know if they had the budget for it though.
Let's see.
Or let me rephrase that. I don't know if they had the Rock has the chops to do what let's say a Andy Serkis can do.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, but
But
uh,
well, go ahead.
I mean overall so far you've kind of sold me on at least seeing it on TV. I'll say that.
He's up to rental, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like some of the good stuff is like The Rock obviously still has the acting chops. Naomi Harris does a pretty good job. Let me see who because I'm checking out the cast list right now. Um, oh, I'm saving these guys for later. Um, yeah, the guy that does Jason Lyles, I guess his name is, the motion capture actor for George.
Mm.
He did a fantastic job. Like there was a part where like you see Georgia interacting with other gorillas, and I didn't think that like I was convinced that it was like from the movements, I was convinced it was a real gorilla. The CGI, I'm not gonna say is the most amazing, but you're not going in there to like be fucking like moved. You want
No.
to see some shit blow up.
No, it's not gonna be
And
like the Apes movie.
yeah, where it's just kind of like it's so like slow moments. They're just kind of like, come on, George, where's the fucking building throwing?
Hmm.
Um, but like he did do a good job, you know.
Hmm.
And there were some parts where I guess you could say that since you see some of those animals like so so rarely in movies, that um, there were some parts where I was just kind of like, is that a real ape or is that like CGI?
Hmm. Well, that's
You know, there
good
was
at
some.
least.
Yeah, they do they do throw in some like legit animals to like sort of like knock you off your senses. George, outside of the fact that he's an albino gorilla, is just obvious as hell.
Well,
But
yeah.
there's like some parts where it's just like no, they actually do like throw in some practical stuff too.
Hmm. That's interesting. Now, I will say that I am noticing that during this entire thing, you're not really talking about the others,
The other monsters or the other actors?
the other monsters.
I'm not, but that's because while they are a focus on in the third act,
Mm-hmm.
during the first two, they are not really there. Because
Mm.
like you do see Ralph the wolf in a couple parts, like you see him get sprayed. You see what you see there's this part where like these mercenaries come in and they're supposed to like, you know, track him down and bring him to the evil corporation. Well, we got those guys for villains. Um
Mm.
and and so like, you know, like the mercenaries are like stupidly thinking like, oh, you know, fucking what's the I have this gun, it instantly kills everything, so I instantly win, right? It's like, of course they're proven wrong, like
Mm.
dumbasses.
Not
uh
generic evil people do.
exactly. What's the rating for this movie? What's the rating for Rampage? I'm
I
trying to
think it's a
remember.
T. Yeah, it's T because not T. I'm thinking games.
Hey,
Um,
this is a game movie.
PG-13.
Okay, yeah. They do earn that PG-13 because there is like Temple of Doom kinds of gore where like you see people like split in half and eaten alive and all that stuff, and that's all mostly like Ralph's doing.
Mm,
Like people die in this movie for sure. And they make sure that you see that.
it's interesting. That must be just on the cusp of an R then.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe if it would probably be an R if it had like any sex appeal. Um,
Mm,
not counting for you furries.
hey, I don't judge.
I do.
Well, there you
But,
go.
but so anyway, so yeah, like you out of the three ones that you see George the most because of course, he's one of the title characters, and then Ralph you see second most, and Lizzie doesn't even show up till like the last third.
Oh, that's kind of lame. Well, I guess. I guess the way you look at it.
In the way in a way it's kind of like okay, you kind of you're it's kind of okay because you know what's Lizzie gonna do that like Ralph isn't already doing, you know.
Yeah, true. Hmm.
And yeah, like you do see him like Ralph like fucking around like going around killing people. There's this one part where like when the villains start blasting the signal,
Mm-hmm.
um excuse me, when the villains start blasting the signal, you see like the shot of like, you know, when Ralph hears the signal, he's fucking like eating the tail end of a bus killing people, and then like he fucking pulls his head out of the bus and then starts running towards the sound.
Hmm. He's rampaging.
Ah. Roll credits. And so let's see. I'm trying. Do you have any other questions? Because I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should mention.
Well, another thing that I've kind of noticed is that, well, we have like scraped the surface, at least I think, of the evil corporation, but there doesn't seem to be any standouts for the evil corporation.
There are standouts, but I was kind of hoping to save that to my cons part. So I'll like this.
Mm.
I'll go into like some of the effects. I'll go into the effects
Mm.
before I go into like the cons. Because I gave the actors their props. The story, I mean, it's goofy, but you're going in to see Goofy, so it makes sense.
Mm.
It borders on cartoony on some parts,
Mm.
but like, I think that like, whether or not you think it does go for a full cartoon, I think that might be like personal preference.
Mm.
Like some people will have the bar here, some people will have the bar lower, you know.
Yeah, some people will expect Oscar for some odd reason. Some people will be
Yeah.
like, good fun.
Some people will be like, this is just gonna be like just as dumb as Transformers or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, on that part, that it's probably going to be a case by case basis. But for the effects, if you're going to see the destruction, uh it's all in the third act. Like the most of the destruction, it is all in the third act. But
Wow.
they do a really good job it lasts a good length. It's not like, oh, the last 10 minutes we have to give it to them. It's like, no, it's like it's the last third act. They get to the city, they start like smashing shit. They hit each other with like parts of the buildings and shit like that.
Hmm.
If you're going to like they're saving the best part for the third act.
Hmm. So
The one
they're
thing I
Pacific
Well, go
Rimming
ahead.
it. Well, no, I was just saying to myself, they're Pacific Rimming it, but they're extending that.
Yeah, it's still a decent size.
Hmm.
Um, and I will say though, one thing I will give him props for is that the first half you are invested because, like, for example, the back and forth between George and The Rock, it's actually really good. Whenever they're both on the screen at the same time, you're just kind of like, I'm actually invested in these characters.
Hmm.
It's not just like you actually don't start feeling like the slowdown and thinking to yourself, when are we gonna get to the building smashing? You don't actually get that till like around the second half, the second act, I should say.
Hmm.
In the beginning, you're actually engaged by like the characters, and I will say this is like a tiny thing. It's kind of stupid and random, but when I saw it in the movie, I was just it kind of like stuck out to me because I thought this is one of those things that could happen in this kind of movie,
Hmm.
and it's this. There's a moment where like they're giving of course they're like there's gonna be parts in the beginning of movies where like someone's giving like exposition about like a character's backstory in the beginning, right? It's just kind of like, why don't you this, and here's like some something about like their backstory.
Hmm.
In Rampage, they did give it as just like one line there, because like there's a part where like this girl says like she wants to date The Rock, and then he says no, and then like his friend says like so you're just gonna go home to your like house full of dogs. That's all he says, and that gets the point across. It's just kind of like, okay, loner. He fucking doesn't go like date much. Like you don't even see his house. None of that stuff. It's just that one line, and I think it. Well, go ahead.
I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it reminds me of that old kind of cop movie where you had the loose cannon cop. It's like, God damn it, you're busting shit and everything up, but you're the best goddamn cop we have. It's like, well, there
A
you
little bit.
go.
I can see that. And so, and yeah, I gave him props because the one thing I feel like that this movie could have done,
Hmm.
is like another movie I'll pull an example out of is like Alvin and the Chipmunks, which I thankfully never saw. But there's this, but it's like internet movie reviews.
Mm.
Uh, and there's this one part they show where like this one character, the side character is giving exposition, but it's like fucking goes into like so much stupid fucking detail that it's just kind of like, how do you know all this? It's like you fucking like so somehow like broke the fourth dimension and stole this character's trading card.
I
Like
wish it
they,
to your mind. It is mine now.
I know, right? And it's just like, I see, he's a loner, and he fucking like, because like sometimes there will be like fucking movies, where there'll be all like, oh, I see, so you're gonna go home at like 24th Cherry Street, like 20 feet from the location where your wife died on June 3rd, 1984. You're going back to that place, right? And it's just kind of like, how do you know all that, and why are you saying it to us?
Okay, expositional extra. Who the fuck are
Yeah, exactly.
you?
It's just kind of like if I was a person in real life when someone says that to me, and like they said like that much detailed information, I'd just be like, who are you and why the fuck are you following me? I'm not all that interesting, second of all.
That's funny.
And like I know it's just kind of like a dumb thing to pull out, but I feel like that's just one thing I also want to give them props for, because oh my god, they could have fucking done that, and I'd just be like, well, we're in this kind of movie.
That's completely jarring, so I can see why you'd say that. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, who?
Yeah, all he says is like, "Oh, so you're going back to your house full of dogs," or some. It was some quickie line like that, but it was just kind of like, even that just already gives you like paints a picture of like what the guy's home is like. Honestly,
Mm.
I was just expecting like in my mind's eye when he said that, I was picturing like Ace Ventura's apartment, but like dimly lit and full of dogs.
It's Batman, but with dogs.
And that's why I'm just kind of like I'm giving him props for that. Yeah, for that one like tiny thing because it could have gone so much worse.
Hmm. Alrighty. Well, interesting.
Okay, so those are the good.
Oh shit.
I now we get to the bad.
Oh damn.
Okay, so because I enjoyed like the second half, it is boring as hell,
Mm-hmm.
or it's got fucking cheese. The moment they
Nice.
get on that fucking airplane, that's when the movie like fucking wants to kill itself. It like nosedives bad. Cause and it feels worse because it's like, okay, like I'm saying, you were surprised about like the character development, the interactions between The Rock and George. You know, you're actually getting like some good character development, and you're actually getting some stuff where it's just like, okay, this movie is a little like on the smarter side.
Mm-hmm.
It's still doing like some goofy shit, but it's like, you know, it's not bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get to the carrier plane with the fuck where they're taking George after he's been infected by the gas,
Mm-hmm.
and then you meet sideways Doug Dimmadome.
No.
That's what I'm gonna call him because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he does
Oh, you
the
mean
two
Negan?
things. He does Negan and he has a southern accent. He fucking goes, my grandpappy used to say fucking bullshit, and he's leaning the whole fucking time. There were some parts because like Jess and I, we watched this movie review podcast, Double Toasted. They
Mm-hmm.
talk about like how there's some parts where it's just like, oh, you know, you see Jeffrey Dean Morgan and you see him to the sides. That's not an effect. That's him leaning. I thought, okay, you know, I've seen some of the reviews and they tend to like sometimes blow some shit up out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
They are not.
Mm-hmm. No,
This
that's
is
Negan. That's literally
that's
Negan.
that's Negan, but with the southern accent, I can't help but call him sideways Doug Dimmadome.
That's Negan in a nutshell.
So like he was one of the distracting parts. There's some parts in the airplane when like fucking because you know, of course, you're I think even in the trailers or something, you know,
Mhm.
is the spoiler flag still on?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's a part in the fucking movie where, you know, George is being taken away in the plane, and so like of course he's gonna break out and he's gonna fucking like bust up the fucking plane.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the shit that happens in that fucking plane is baffling. Like, it has moments that it just makes you go like, no, just no. I don't care who you are. The fucking the part there's this part where like fucking uh when uh when Dimmadome fucking like handcuffs with zip ties Johnson and Harris,
Mm-hmm.
so he can interview them and shit.
Mm-hmm.
When fucking George is starting to wake up, no joke, The Rock fucking goes Man of Steel in this shit. He stands up and then just breaks the fucking zip ties with his like bare hands, nothing else.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And it's just like, okay, so we're clearly in the goofier parts. There's some parts where like fucking the laws of physics just stop working for some goddamn reason.
As usual.
Like fucking there, because there's a part where like the fucking back of the plane opens up, and so it's just like, you know, you think, oh, all these people should be like just flying out like super quick and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking there's a part where Negan's unconscious on top of a crate, and he's not moving at all. It's almost like the wind's not even affecting him, and if it is, it's just a light gust. It's like, no, you're unconscious. You should be fucking dead on the ground. And the shit's not affecting him whatsoever. And it turns out that like, oh, he's on top. He's still being held on by the crates because like his foot got caught in some rope or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even then, it's just like, okay, you're still falling down. You just have one less leg. That's it. Like that shit is impossible and fake as all hell and shouldn't happen.
That's funny.
And
I
like
can do it because I'm Negan, though.
he was leaning out of the air current. And
I lean on the wind.
and then I mean I could go off on that fucking scene, but that's just like some of the goofy shit you're in for. Let's see what else. Let me see some of the names. Okay, you have Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacey. They're the main villains.
Mhm.
They are like they're part of the reason why the fucking movie turns into a fucking cartoon. Like, sh like because let's see, uh, because Ackerman, she fucking she is like the the stereotypical evil CEO of a company from like the 90s where like, subtlety was dead.
Darling.
Almost, yeah. She just always has like the evil like sneering scowl on her face, and like she fucking walks around going like, "Oh, we can't let this happen to our fucking stock and shit," you know. And I like she's the one like that fucking comes up with like the plans and stuff.
Mhm.
Jake Lacey, he's like the retarded half of the fucking family,
Mhm.
where like you see how far he got up in the company. It's just kind of like you're only up this high in the chain of command because you're related, aren't you? If he fucking was to do shit on by his own merit, he wouldn't even be working at Burger King. It is that bad. And for like most of his scenes, he's always carrying around food for some reason. He's always got like some food in his hands. There's like a part where like if I remember correctly, there's like a part where like he's packing up and it's just like, "Oh, well, what about my meatball sub?"
Hey, as long as he doesn't have an apple, we're fine.
For some reason it's just like he's always carrying around fucking food, and he's always just like he's just so retarded. And then like when they kill him off, it's honestly for my money, because it was so obvious. When they kill him off, it's not even all that satisfying. And
Yeah,
then
sounds about
okay.
right.
Yeah, it was like a fucking it was like an obvious like fucking scary movie kind of shit, where it's just kind of like, oh man, I can see it's coming so much from so far away, and it's not even gonna be funny.
Mhm.
And then one of the things about it too, the movie also, is that like there's a part where they do because obviously we're late in the game about like talking about this movie, so a lot of people might have already heard it, that there is a rampage machine in the background of some of the shots.
Mhm.
And I would have been fine if it was like, oh, okay, we have it like a little like subtle thing in the background. No, it's pretty damn clear. Like I was able to see it multiple times. Whenever it was on the screen, I was just like pointing it out in my mind, like there it is, there it is, there it is.
Uh,
Like subtlety is not this movie's best strong suit, but then given fucking Sideways Doug Dimmadome and like fucking Team Rocket, you can't help but fucking be like, yeah, I'm not surprised that like they're not subtle about this shit.
That's funny. It's like because I was thinking when they said something about the machine, I was thinking, well, maybe they'll have it to where like somebody's playing it and then that person gets eaten or something like that. I don't know, but from what I hear,
No,
it's not subtle in the slightest.
no, it's really not. It's more of like a peripheral vision kind of thing to be going like, because they're going like, hey, everybody, this is the source material, and here it is again, and here it is again. Like, no, these guys, like subtlety is not their strong suit.
We've seen the game. See, see.
We know the source material. Don't get angry.
Aren't you proud of us? No man.
Yeah. Um. Overall, though, I mean, unless you have any questions, I'll start wrapping this
No,
one up.
I think you hit all the points I wanted to go over. Really.
All right. Overall, though, I'll say this: it's an okay movie. If you're one of those people that has like a higher taste in some movies,
Mm.
like well, like how can I put this? It's okay for a Goofy movie. It's obviously not going to be trying to be high art or anything like that. And some of the parts where it does do pretty good, it does do well. The second half, I'm sure a lot of people have heard, and they're basically right that it's like, the dullest part.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is fucking like part Mary Sue
Mm-hmm.
in some parts because it's just like, yeah, you shouldn't be able to survive this. Um, but he's still entertaining. The monster fights are still entertaining. Um, if you want to go see like a dopey movie, it's fine. Yeah, I'd like, go for it. Well, I think on average it would be like a movie you rent to go check it out. For like my own personal rating system, which is pretty much 1 through 4, avoid at all costs. 5 and 6, it's pretty damn. It's like bland as all hell. It's not even worth like giving a glance unless it's 7. Uh, it's a 7 for me.
Word. Alrighty. Well, sounds like I'll be catching that on TV then.
Yeah, you'd probably be able to entertain yourself there.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well then, that was Rampage. Nice. Now
I
we're
will.
gonna.
I guess I will say though. Sorry. I
Go
will
ahead,
add this
go ahead.
one like addendum because the biggest question about this is like, does this movie break the video game curse? Obviously, like the way I put it is obviously not, but I do think it does rattle the cage because it's actually like, it's actually watchable
Mm.
given the track record.
Yeah, that's one thing. One way to put it.
Yeah.
But no. Alright. Well, we're moving in a direction. Is it the right direction? So it seems that way. But you know Hollywood. So
They're gonna assume there's like that means that they want all of this all the time.
exactly. Alright, let's move on, unfortunately, to our next one. Dun, da, da, truth or dare. Now, let's get into a little bit of backstory for this, for me at least, before I walked into this. Blumhouse has been on a pretty good win streak so far. I mean, if you've seen what they've done last year, you might have heard of a little movie called Get Out. Oscar
Get out.
award
What's
winning.
that?
Let's say it's an Oscar movie. Let's start off there. But it's one of those movies that had a lot of social like talk and stuff around it, and it was also a movie that broke the mold in so many ways, with not only having somebody who's known for comedic stuff writing a quote thriller horror film, though horror being subjective here for some people. I think it's a horror film, but whatever. And it also broke the mold of saying, hey, we could have a low budget film and still be making buttloads of money. Now, another thing I want to put in with that little thing I just said, Blumhouse will give you a nickel and say, make a movie.
Well, this movie sounds really interesting. It must have been that year where I was living under a rock.
Pretty much. Yeah, some people live under rocks. I don't judge. But,
I had no money, okay?
But then, okay, so they got one. Like, we all know Blumhouse tends to make those kind of shitty movies, whatever that Charlie thing was. I can't even. Oh, The Gallows. Yeah, let's not forget that. But they make shitty movies like that most of the time. But then we had a winner. Okay, we have a winner. But what else can they do? Come about 6-7 months later, they come out with another movie called Happy Death Day. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, here we go. Blumhouse at it again.
Oh, but Jess, I think you're also like trying to actively avoid one of the most important movies Blumhouse has ever made.
Oh, what's that?
Gem and the Holograms.
Jesus Christ. Let's not bring that nightmare back, okay?
Well, I mean, you want to give people confidence about the quality work that Blumhouse is known for.
Well, see, that's what I mean. Like, they know for that kind of shit. So, I'm trying to set it up now. But, I mean, yeah, they know for that shit. We know. But they had some winners lately. Because I didn't think Happy Death Day would be good. Lo and behold, it was one of my favorite movies of the year. I couldn't believe it. It was one of those like, where did this come from? Then there was another movie that recently kind of came out in the festival called well, hold on, let me make sure so I don't butcher this thing. Because it's literally a movie that I've actually sent you a trailer for later down the line, Moopsy. It's like Upgrade. That's what it's called. And I'm not gonna lie.
Uh,
What's that?
oh, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you've mentioned it, but I never really looked into it.
Oh man, like if you liked Hardcore Henry, like action wise, Upgrade's your thing. Like
Okay.
literally, like I saw that and I was like, holy shit. Okay, you sold me. And I'm just saying, like they're starting to make super hits. Like another hit that actually came out last year, I totally forgot they made. Split. A movie where they had to give somebody who's known for shitty shit, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan shit, but he actually made a good film with Blumhouse.
Just don't pull a muscle coming up with those lines.
I know, right? So they're 3 for 3. Technically 3.5 with that trailer. I still haven't seen the movie, so I can't judge it. But that trailer has me hyped. But so I'm thinking, okay, they finally got into their track record. They're getting their stride. We're getting there. We're getting there, right? And then Truth or Dare came out. Now, is it
It
good? Is it bad? Well, let's get into that, shall we?
Let's play a game of Truth or Dare to find out.
Yeah, like, Moosey, I dare you to see this movie just any point in time.
No.
And that would be the correct answer. So, all right, but hey, my review could change in the middle. So, let's just see. Let's just start off with the very beginning of this movie. Oh yeah, there will be like half spoilers, half non-spoilers in this. I'm just letting you know now. But if you don't even want to hear this review on it, just look at the trailer and you've seen the movie. I'm just telling you that now. But we start off with our friends. Well, friends being a subjective word because you hate everyone in this movie, I guarantee you when you see it. With a girl named Olivia. Now, Olivia has a couple of friends named Lucas, Marky, Penelope, Carter, and Brad, as well. Well, not really a friend, but another guy named Ronnie. Now, Carter was the one who kind of like new to the group, and he helps them get rid of Ronnie because Ronnie's the straight asshole. Although if you look at his picture, he looks like that person that was a nerd in high school. It's like, when I grow up, I'm gonna beat all of you guys, and then he grows up, he's still that nerd. So that was like terrible casting in my opinion. But they finally ditched Ronnie, mind you, and then they ended up saying, "Hey, we should go to this local place that's like so secluded that Ronnie couldn't even find us, right?" It's like, sure, let's do that. And they go to this abandoned, broken down, scary as fuck looking shit of a church. Like, horror trope number one. You see that shit, you don't go in there. But they do it anyway because, hey, we can get away from Ronnie. And then Carter comes up with a brilliant plan for all the friends. Let's play a game of Truth or Dare. It's like, okay, well, they're not teens, they're like college kids. Well, let me rephrase that. They're adults trying to play off as college kids. Because they all look way too old for this. It's like Danny Glover had a bunch of kids, and they just all came to play this thing. And they all just even say, I'm too old for this shit. But like they're just playing, and before the bad stuff starts happening, you can tell that you kind of question why are these people friends, because they're already kind of backstabbing themselves in this game of Truth or Dare. Like, one of the things is, I dare you to tell the truth about Olivia, the guy, I think his name is Lucas, and Lucas straight out tells one of her best friend, which is Marky, that Olivia is in love with her boyfriend. And I'm just thinking to myself, what? Why are we doing this?
It almost sounds like a black hole for assholes.
Really? They're all assholes, except for like one character, but I will get to him later. Because he comes up, that character has something special with him.
Oh, joy.
But they literally finally get to Carter, and they ask why he bringing them there. And then he tells them straight up, I needed some pawns to like get this game going so that this demon wouldn't attack me anymore. And then he just outright leaves. Like he just dips. Nobody tries to stop him or anything. Just straight up dips.
God damn it.
And it's just like, well, that was weird. Okay, let's go home. And then as they go home, they start seeing these hallucinations and stuff. And they're thinking, well, maybe whatever happened was true. Oh yeah, I forgot. Ronnie was there too. I don't know how the fuck he found him, but Ronnie was there too. He just kind of appeared up, and that was a jump scare moment too. By the way, this movie's riddled with jump scares that don't make any sense. But they start doing all this kind of weird seeing shit of like, what is this thing saying truth or dare all the time? And Ronnie's the first one to get it. So if you've seen the trailer, you know that they have this like Joker smiles whenever they get the truth or dare demon coming after them. They literally discount Jokers everywhere.
What?
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, whenever the demon goes to them and says truth or dare with like some other person there he's possessing, they literally have this weird ass fucking smile. Literally, they look like Jokers. Let me show you a picture of this, because this shit is stupid.
Oh, God.
Like, you know it's supposed to be scary, but it's just funny.
Oh, God, I'm supposed to take this seriously, aren't I?
Like, he's like, oh, you're going to take this so seriously? Like, no, I'm not. Here, finally, I found one good enough for you. I will put this in the review as well on YouTube so people can see that.
That looks like bad Photoshop.
It really does. It's so bad. And like you see that every time somebody gets a truth or dare thing or whatever.
That shit looks like whoever made that should get fired.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like whoever did that, they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. But that being said, Ronnie is the first one to really get the truth or dare thing happen to him. And like he does a dare. And it's like, I need you to show your dick out in public to all these people. He's like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And then he ends up chickening out at the last second. So he's like, yeah, screw this. And then the demon takes over him and kills him. Like, straight up, like, makes him go on this pool table and fall right off and make himself snap his neck. And I'm not spoiling that because it's in the trailer. Literally.
So the way that the way that this demon kills people is people play truth or dare, whether or not they do it. It depends on if they don't do it, then they get possessed.
Yes.
And then the demon basically makes you kill yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about that. Truth or dare, or you die.
Yeah, it's just like, because that just sounds like the cheapest fucking horror movie thing like out there, where it's just like, well, how do we make this scary? It's a demon.
Oh yeah, like see, and I'm gonna get to something later because I'm with you. It's dumb as shit. But
is there like a part where like fucking some asshole, where like the fucking like these quote unquote teens, these 30-year-old teens, fucking go to like a church or a library and they go like, oh, the forbidden history of like fucking truth or dare is in this book.
Now wait, you're getting a
Or
little ahead
Father,
of me.
please tell us the origins of truth or dare.
You wait a minute. You're getting a little ahead. We'll get there. I got you.
I want to know because I'm already just kind of like wishing death on these guys.
I got you, but I'm with you. I'm with you right here. I got you, man.
Goose rub.
We gonna get there. We gotta build it up, man. We gotta build it up. Oh, this shit.
I am so happy I have a chicken dish in front of me to calm me down.
But so before because I will say, just wait, because you're on to something.
Oh God.
So once Ronnie dies, the dick who doesn't look like a dick really, um, they start believing, okay, maybe what this guy did was true, and now we have a demon on us and whatnot. And then, as the thing goes on, the demon goes from person to person, and they have to do whatever. Like, one of the things that you also see in the trailer is that the demon tells the girl, she has to tell everybody that her best friend, Marky, that I told you earlier, is cheating on her boyfriend to everybody in the library that she's in.
Okay.
And when she does that, of course, Marky gets mad and shit and like slaps her and whatnot. But then the demon goes to Marky, and he tells Marky to do a dare or something like that, and it's to break Olivia's hand. It's like, what? And then they take 10, I kid you not, that scene takes, I think, 15 minutes to finally get done.
To break a hand?
To break a hand. I'm not kidding. It was literally about 15 minutes to break a hand. Because they kept going, well, I can't do this because you're my friend and whatnot. It's like, she just told your secret to everyone in the damn library.
And even then, it's just like, I'm just breaking your hand.
You're not killing her.
You're gonna live. Exactly. If it was murder, I'd get it. But it's just like, oh, I just have to smash your hand. It's like, okay. You know, you can heal.
It's like, you're not killing her. If you don't do it, you will die. It's so dumb.
Couldn't you also just like break a finger which is connected to the hand?
Well, see, they actually do talk something about that. It has to be very specific to what it is, because if you try to go around it, the demon won't count it.
Why the fuck not?
Because it's a movie about truth or dare. Are you saying? Oh, which reminds me, and this is.
Can you delete this fucking face in front of me? I swear to God, it's just like.
That's actually, you brought up something. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and like there should have been some kind of real rule book, because this demon does not really follow the rules of truth or dare. Because in the movie, and this is I'm going to put up the slight spoiler on this one. It's slightly a spoiler.
50% opacity.
I mean, let's be honest here. Like, if you want to see this movie after what I just told you, by all means, because nothing else I'm going to tell you is going to stop you. But
yes, for the love of God, take out that message with the picture.
Oh,
I hate her face.
I thought you could delete it.
All I can do is pin it.
Oh, hold on. Okay, delete. Yes. All right.
Okay, thank you. I'd rather like take out like the twitchy black guy than fucking that goddamn face.
But okay, so here we go. The thing that the teens, I'll call them teens, that they try to figure out is, okay, what if we just did truth the entire time instead of dare? So they never have to do anything super crazy. Like, they might have to say something crazy, but they don't have to do anything crazy. They figure out later on that that's not how the game works, apparently, according to the demon. You can't just... How do
they find out?
Because, and we're still in spoiler alert, so you've been warned, they end up finding out that this has happened before with the group that the guy, Chester, had that made them get initiated into the game. So they end up trying to find his friends to figure out how the game got started. And they told Olivia, who went to go see them, that that's how the game works. Like, two people can do a truth, but the next person has to do a dare. And that's not how truth or dare works. And I'm not kidding you. Somebody in my theater literally yelled that out. They literally said, that's not how the game works.
Yeah, because otherwise the game would be called Truth Then Dare.
Exactly. Like, literally. It's like the demon thought about this idea. I know what I'm going to do to kill these people. I'm going to make them play Truth or Dare. And then he realized, like, maybe the first time he tried it, that it was just like, oh man, this is really stupid. I gotta change the rules somehow.
This demon fucking has to be like special needs to the point where he wears a diaper.
Oh,
For
absolutely.
fuck's sake!
Like, he's that
How?
inbred. He's literally that inbred that's just like, I have an idea. I'm gonna make him play truth or dare. That's scary, right?
Motherfucker's a progeny of incest, for God's sake.
And like his parents are just like, what do we do?
Cletus, what do we do?
I'm so ashamed.
God,
Oh my gosh.
demon bastards.
Oh, but in that very moment, when Olivia's talking to the girls, that originally did the first. Well, it wasn't the first one. It was technically the second. But the first one, the one of the girls that she's talking to. Let me see if I can find her name. I think it was Giselle. Yeah, Giselle. Giselle was the one who was telling Olivia about how it all works. But then her turn comes up for the truth or dare thing since she's still in the game. And her dare is to kill Olivia. So she ends up like getting a gun from like one of the things or whatever she got it from, and tries to shoot Olivia, but she ends up hitting her friend that's also there. And then because she failed, even though technically she can still shoot, Olivia. Just saying. But because she failed, she ends up having to kill herself.
What?
Yeah, yes, I'm not kidding. She shoots herself in the head.
Okay, so, because that's the thing about truth or dare. Like, when you do a dare, you're not supposed to, like, you're supposed to try to accomplish it. You're not supposed to fucking actually. The game doesn't depend on whether or not you succeed.
Exactly.
And yet, this fucking dopey ass fucking demon says, no, you have to do it and succeed.
Exactly. The rules make no sense for this game. It literally doesn't. And it's like he's making it up as he goes along.
I swear to God, dude, the guy that wrote this movie, he never got invited to play Truth or Dare once in his life.
Oh no, absolutely not. And like the thing is, there are a couple of kind of cool concepts I could say, like the whole like having.
Don't try to give this movie credit now.
Well, see, like there are a couple of things. I want to be a little bit fair, just a little bit, because there is a thing where like they have the truth or dare etched into their skin, and the way it happens, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But then you have to think about it. Why are you using people to say truth or dare if you can just do shit like that? I don't get it.
I get it. The guy that fucking wrote this was on cocaine.
Probably. Oh man. And then okay, so I think at this point, because I don't want to go too much further without putting the spoiler thing back up, but at this point I'm going to give you my quote rating per se. And if you haven't thought about it by now, I guess I have to spell this out for you. Don't go see this shit. Stay right here. I'm going to tell you what happens. You don't need to see this. This is so not worth your time. And if you really, because the thing I was going to say is that it was like Final Destination almost, but it's Final Destination without any cool kills or any concept that makes sense.
I would almost argue that this sounds like Final Destination meets The Room.
Honestly, I would not fight that. I could see that actually.
You're tearing me apart, Truth or Dare Demon.
And the thing is, I know a couple of these actors, like the one who plays Olivia. Like, she's a good actor, but they gave her nothing to work with.
Okay, I when you said I know these actors, I thought like you were gonna say like I know them personally,
Oh,
and
no,
I was gonna
definitely
be
not.
like, oh my god, dude, you gotta fucking let them stay at your house for a couple of days to recuperate, because that is sad.
Oh, I even if I don't know them, you can stay right here. I got you. You don't have to go back out to that shit ever again.
He's got a place at his couch for you to recover.
I got you. Me, I got you, brother. I got you, sister. But oh my gosh, this is so bad. But yeah, don't go see this. Just listen. I will tell you what you want to know, literally. And now I am putting up the spoiler warning again. Okay, so remember when you were talking about do they go see a father or something to
A
see what
priest.
a priest or whatever? Okay, so
Cause like yeah, cause I'll tell you like real quick. It usually like in these kinds of horror movies, either they get their information from a wise man or from a library,
mm,
like the Bye Bye Man.
oh yeah, so they go to a church, kind of in a way, to ask about the demon. Little do they know, they meet the originator of the whole thing.
Wait,
Literally, they meet a
wait,
nun, like, who's mute. She's mute. They don't know why she's mute, but she's mute. And they meet the other nun that's with her, and she tells them the story of what happened.
why
So,
do you need to have a different nun?
well, okay, so here's the reason why. You learn that the priest or whatever of the original time was like trying to fuck with these nuns and shit and whatnot, and they couldn't do anything about it because they couldn't tell anyone. So the nun summons a demon to take care of the priest. Unfortunately, the priest, when he died, the demon came back to them and tried to kill them.
When will people stop letting priests summon fucking demons? Come on, you're sitting me here!
Oh, it gets so much better. It's so bad.
Demon summoning priests fucking with nuns, and it all goes awry because this demon's now loose on this earth playing this bullshit game of truth then dare.
But see, here's the thing. They actually stop the demon, and the way you do it is that you go to that broken church I was telling you earlier, and you do an incantation, and you cut off your tongue. And that's why the nun is mute.
Fine,
so,
fine.
so, which means that somebody else had to do the incantation for the demon to come back, which was the guy I told you that brought them to the church in the first place, Chester. Which they actually learned his real name is Sam, but
What a twist.
they learned that after another event that happens, which is why I'm going to go back to that character I was telling you, the only likable character in my opinion. His name is Brad. Now he's this like Asian guy or whatever that turns out to be gay. And he can't tell his father or mother or that because, of course, dishonor, all that stuff. You know how it is. But
Wait. Just for to make sure I'm getting this right. It's Brad is the guy that summoned the demon.
no, Chester. Well, Sam. His real name is Sam, but they knew him as Chester at the time.
Okay, we'll just say it's Sam. We'll just say it's Sam. So
Yeah.
Sam is the guy that summoned the demon. Brad is the one you were saying is the likable character.
Yes, the only
Okay.
likable character in my opinion. And okay, so you learn that he's gay, and he can't tell his family because you know the normal reasons you can't tell your parents, they wouldn't accept you, blah blah blah, stuff like that. The demon comes to him and literally dares him to tell his father that he's gay.
Okay.
And he ends up going with the dare, and the dad's like super understanding and all this other stuff, and everything works out just fine.
Son, it's 2018.
It kind of was like that. It was like, we're in a different time period. It's okay. I'll love you regardless. It literally was like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, this demon clearly doesn't know what's happening in the world at this moment. So,
Go back to the 50s, demon.
really, like, and like, this is where one of the concepts I would have said was like, this could have made it an interesting story, in my opinion. Is if what the demon's doing is making better people out of these people with this truth or dares. Like, because like I said before, they're all assholes. Everybody, minus Brad, he's kind of there, kind of shy dude, whatever. But everybody else is pretty much an asshole. So I feel like a good concept was the demons reforming them in a way. You know? Kind of like Final Destination kind of changed things up for the people as well. Um,
Um,
was that?
I mean, like, it would have to be like a different creature or something because demons, I seriously doubt, are willing to help people.
Which, yeah, I mean, you would have to stretch a bit, I know, but it still would be better than this shit.
Yeah, can I get
Like, I mean, because, like, maybe you could do, like, I'm literally making a better movie as I talk. Maybe you could do, like, once they do their dare or whatever, because it has to be true through to the dare, whatever. The demon finally leaves because you've rid yourself of him because of that. I don't know.
Or it could be
Just
like
a
the
thought.
demon himself is actually trying to reform.
Yeah, exactly. That's his thing, to reform. Like, that could have been a cool concept, in my opinion.
Like, yeah,
But,
it's like what I mean is like, the demon himself is trying to reform because he wants to become an angel, so he fucking tries to help people.
sure, we could have gone with that. Still better than anything this shit came out with.
No, yeah, like it's like, oh, spooky truth or dare.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow. Oh gosh. But then, okay, the demon's like, okay, that didn't work, surprisingly, to me, and not anyone else. But okay, I got some for you. Because his dad's a cop.
Right.
So what he tells Brad to do next is another dare, and he has to get his father's gun and point it at his dad and tell his dad to beg for his life on his knees. Okay, so this sounds
That's,
really bad, right?
that should have been the first dare.
It really should have been the first dare. Really should have. But you know what? Whatever. Now,
The demon's stuck in the 50s with his fucking pipe and the fucking picket fences and Nazism and all that shit. It's a demon from a different time. You have to forgive him.
exactly. But I just imagine something with horns and a suit. It's like, so, what are you in for?
No, yeah, it's just like fucking like the whole thing about like, oh, little demon Billy fucking riding his tricycle on the front lawn. Demon Sue, whatever, fucking baking a demon apple pie.
Mm. It's,
Like all that.
it's so bad.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but going back to that dare. So, he ends up getting his dad's gun. They're out in the street, mind you. And he literally points it at his dad and said, Dad, well, before he did that, actually, he told his dad, do whatever I say. Literally. He said that before anything happened, do whatever I say. He's like, okay,
Okay.
sure. And then he pulls the gun and tells him to get on his knees and beg for your life. And the dad does anything but that. And it's like it gets to the point of comedy because it's just like he keeps telling him, just beg for your life, please. And the dad's just like, son, is this about you coming out being gay and shit? It's just like, what are you doing? Like,
He literally gave you instructions. Do what I said. Just go along with this. You fucking retarded ass dad.
literally, like after the first time, you're in shock. I get it. Whatever. The second
I
time,
I I could even give you like up to 3 times.
three times, it's stretching it for me. But you know what? You're in a weird situation. I get it.
It's your son pointing a gun at you, telling you to get on your knees and beg for your life after he had come out as gay. You gotta give him some leeway.
Yeah, but it's like it's even the fact that he literally told you before anything happened, do what I tell you.
Basically, yes.
It's like, okay, I'll give you the three. The three. Okay. 3 times. You got it. Okay. Now after that, you're just trying to do some stupid shit.
More like you're trying to die.
Like you're literally just not listening. You're a horrible parent.
Is it possible that dad's like low-key trying to get his son to kill him?
Hey, that could be an awesome theory in itself, as far as I'm concerned.
It's like he really doesn't accept his son as being gay, so that's how he wants to commit suicide.
Hey, if that was a twist, that would make this movie like 10 times better, and that's not saying much.
Pay me, Blumhouse. I just improved your movie.
I know, right? But see, the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure it was like 5 or 6 times. He literally said, just get down on your knees and beg. And he just never
Jesus.
did it. And then...
I would pistol whip him just because he's like so fucking dumb.
I know, right? But see, then what happens is his partner finally comes around the corner and ends up shooting the son.
Did the dad try to prevent it?
No, because he didn't see him.
Okay.
Like, literally, the guy literally came around the corner, saw the gun being pointed at his partner, and shot the kid.
Isn't it usually police protocol to tell him to put down the gun?
You would think.
It must be a southern town.
Hey, I mean, at that point, I can't really say anything about the officer, because at that point, it's like one of those, okay, you either do something now, or you choose the other route and possibly lose the guy.
I mean, the whole situation's fucking stupid, though.
It should never have gotten to that point. It never should have gotten to that point at all.
Oh, but it did.
And I don't understand. Like, and then you lose the only good person in this entire movie.
Maybe that's the problem. It's just they thought to themselves, "No, this will bring quality to the movie. We can't have that."
I know, right? It's like we're already fucked up. Let's not bring anything to this.
Let's not try to be better.
Oh gosh. And then there's another part that's actually retarded to me in a way when you really think about it, which is is it Mackie or Marky? Hold on. Marky. The best friend to Olivia.
Okay.
You see her throughout the movie looking at like a video of her dad or something like that. And you're like thinking to yourself, okay, something happened to the dad clearly. You learn later he committed suicide, and after that point, you can probably see what's coming because there's little hints here and there.
Because horror movie cliches.
Literally horror movie cliches, and you find out later that Olivia, when they were like really young, went over to her house one day when Marky wasn't there, and her dad, Marky's dad, was drunk, like just lost his job. And he's trying to kind of get with Olivia, like, you know, Chris Hansen style. And that wasn't going to work. Now, what I was thinking when I saw this was that, okay, maybe they've done something before this, and this is why this is happening. And the answer is no. This is the very first time, apparently, this is happening.
He only hit on her the one time.
Yes, this is the very first time it's ever happened. And she gets away from him. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. I lost my job. I don't know what I'm doing. And then, like, he's asking Olivia, please don't tell my daughter. And she's like, oh, hell yeah, I'm doing that. You don't deserve her in the first place. And that's what makes him commit suicide. Now, Marky finds this out, mind you. And guess what her response is?
I feel like it's going to go somewhere stupid, so I'm not even going to try to guess.
She gets mad at Olivia because of the death of her father. Keep in mind, I just told you.
He drunkenly hit on her and committed suicide.
Exactly. Practically, possibly going to rape this girl.
And yet it's her fault.
Yeah, it's Olivia's fault somehow.
That's...
What?
Honestly, that almost sounds just like, how dare you have a vagina? It's like, what?
It really was like that, dude. I'm not kidding you. And she has no room to even be talking because she's cheating on her boyfriend. She's like the least moral out of everyone here.
Well, who the fuck thinks that, like, who thought these were good things? Who thought this was good story writing?
I honestly couldn't tell you. It's so bad.
Like, like, no joke, like, I would say it's been, like, within the last 3 years where I've actually started, like, you know, getting more analytical with, like, storytelling and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got, like, 3 years experience fucking watching movies and trying to analyze them properly. I could write better stories than these guys!
Oh, absolutely. Anyone could have.
We did write better stories!
We
in
did.
this fucking podcast!
We did. It's really bad. It's so bad. Oh gosh. Oh man, I still haven't even gotten to the best part yet. Still haven't.
There's more.
There's more, and it comes right at the end. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I'm just gonna take some headache pills while you're telling me.
okay, so as we found out, the way to stop the demon is to do the incantation. Whoever started the truth or dare thing has to do the incantation and has to cut off their the tongue. So
Right.
they end up having to try to find Sam, the guy who got them in there in the first place. And they end up finding him and put him at gunpoint and say, "You need to stop this now." So
Okay.
they get him to the church. I believe it's Olivia, Marky, and I want to say Lucas were the last people there.
All right.
And they're like, "Okay, do it." And he's getting ready to do it. But then I believe it's Marky's turn to play truth or dare, and she has to do a dare. And she ends up I think she was asked to kill Olivia, I believe, or it was to kill somebody, and she wouldn't do it. So the demon takes control of her, but instead of like killing Marky like he normally does with everyone else, he ends up killing Sam. So the seance can't be stopped.
But that he's not following his rules again.
He's not. But here's the kicker: because he did that, he's in the game now too somehow.
How?
Magic. I don't know.
I mean, like, fuck it. I've seen shit with magic that makes better sense than this.
And now they have to ask the demon, okay, is there another way we can stop this? Because Sam's dead. He got shot. He's done.
Yeah.
And the demon's like, nope, because the original caster's gone. So the only thing you can do is try to prolong it like Sam did.
Prolong it.
Prolong it. Here's the kicker.
Prolong.
Here's the kicker. They tell the people about the truth or dare thing on YouTube. They put it on YouTube.
Wouldn't that just spread its influence?
Exactly. So now anybody who sees this video is now fucked. And it has become the ring.
Oh, but
It has literally just become the ring in 5 minutes.
I,
Oh my gosh, it's so
They-
bad.
they try to stop the demon by putting the video on YouTube. How does that stop him again?
It's supposed to prolong the inevitable because they can't stop it now. So basically, they did the most selfish thing ever so they can live just a little bit longer.
Yeah, basically, because instead of just being like, instead of doing the most sensible thing, if you're stuck in that situation, the most sensible thing is literally just to kill yourselves and end it there.
Really. But no, you're going to spread the shit like the fucking ring and just
And it doesn't
let
even
it go rampant.
Honestly, I'd fucking torture them.
It's so bad.
I'd war crime them to hell because they're so stupid.
Oh gosh, it's so bad. Oh man. Well, I'm not kidding. When I saw that, I literally just jumped out of my seat and walked right out.
I would have left so much earlier than that. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
if it was like this, if we went to the theater,
Mm-hmm.
like fucking like even if it was like this, we go to the theater. You and I go to the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pay for my movie ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and fucking we get to and we watch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still be asking you for a refund. I'd still be telling you you owe me this much money.
Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I would like it'd be like I'd be like fucking like Chaz, let me see the receipt. Okay, what's up? I fucking take it. You owe me okay, 12.50 for the ticket. You owe me 12.50. It's like, but I paid
Oh.
for your ticket. I know.
You still owe me, damn
You
it.
still fucking owe me.
Oh gosh, the movie is so bad.
Christ.
And it's like it's funny because I thought about walking out. I'm not gonna lie, like way earlier than that. But it got to that point where it was just like, okay, I've gotten through this long. Let's just see how stupid this shit goes.
I would just be like, I would just be thinking to myself, I should have gotten hammered before I saw this.
Oh yeah, like hammered, drugged up, everything. Because I don't want to remember this.
Your fucking lungs just have to be fucking coated in THC.
Guess I'm having bleach tonight. Oh man, but like I said, don't go see this. Just don't. I don't even need to give it like a 1 or a 2 or whatever rating. Don't go see this shit. Do not.
Start to go into the negatives.
Literally, I'm going negative 1,000. Don't go see this.
Well, it's like I hope those people. I hope those people were didn't have any dreams of actually being successful actors, after, especially after being that
Oh
shit.
no, especially after that. This is a career-ending movie, possibly. Oh, you were in that? Hmm. Oh well. What?
Oh my god!
Any questions for the lovely Oscar-winning coming Truth or Dare?
How can I erase the last hour from my mind?
You can't until you drink all that bleach.
I gotta fucking get some electrodes in my brain just so I can forget. No! No!
All right,
No!
enough of that bullshit. Let's go on to a more fun movie. Hopefully, please tell me it is.
It wasn't as bad as that, I can promise you that!
Alrighty, let's move on to Super Troopers 2.
I'll, Ah! I'll try to get through this one, like, like at a decent speed because honestly, I'm almost just kind of like, cut it, cut it. Why am I in this thing anymore?
I told you so bad.
It is so bad. Okay, so I'll try to like go at like a reasonable speed for this because fuck this movie. And I'm no, fuck Truth or Dare, fuck Truth or Dare. Super Troopers 2. The long-awaited sequel from Broken Lizard, the next movie after like fucking Slam and Salmon, which is like that movie. I think that was like their last movie, and that was way fucking old at this point. I almost want to say over like 12 years. Let me look it up.
It's probably
Uh,
somewhere close there.
oh damn, I haven't seen this one. This other movie called Freeloaders I haven't seen.
Oh yeah, I saw that way back. It was alright.
Okay, I'll check it out. But yeah, so the last movie they did before Super Troopers 2 was this one called Freeloaders.
Hmm.
The last one I had seen before before that of theirs was Slam and Salmon, which was 9 years ago.
Hmm.
And so I had seen the original Super Troopers. I thought it was a funny movie. I thought it was good. Uh, I don't remember if it was I don't think it was like a high budget movie, but it's just like it did good for what it was trying to do. And so they Indiegogo the most of the finance for this movie, and then they made and then they made Super Troopers 2, and it was released on 420.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might see some videos like from some people who go like see every movie like Truth or Dare. And
Movie of the year.
top 10 reasons why I want to slay everyone. Uh, and the movie, I thought it was all right, but that being said, I can see like non-fans sort of like not liking it. Um,
Mm.
because it's like the original is good. The original is fun. It's funny. It's got some memorable moments. Super Troopers 2, it's good. I don't know if I would say that it's obviously one of those like, the original is better than the sequel
Mm.
for sure. I did like some of the gags that they had in the movie. Uh, there were some like what am I trying to say here? I'm just trying to regain my marbles after that fuck title review.
Movie of the year. Calling it now. 10 Oscars.
Like, okay, as a fan of Broken Lizard, I like the movie.
Mm.
Um, a person that isn't a fan probably most likely won't like it. Um, I think that the original is better. They did have some jokes I liked. The plot, I was way hoping that they would try something different because before I saw it, I remember I talked to you, Jess, and you said that it has the pitfalls of the sequel doing the original again.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it does. I was kind of hoping that it
Mm.
would be like maybe one of the things about the sequel that redoes the original is the classic pulling all the different people over gags.
Mm.
Like the meow gag.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that, and some of them are actually like some I found entertaining. Like there's this one where like fucking uh it's a bit of a fake out how we have one of the cops drunk on the hood of a car. The guy tries to wake him up, but then the guy that owns the car tries to wake him up, but he can't. And so then he fucking goes in to start the car thinking like, "Oh, I'll just use like the horn or some shit like that," right?
Mm-hmm.
He turns on the car, and then there's another cop in the back of the car in the back seat, and then everyone starts freaking out. Like the way that they did it, I kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gag where there's a bear in a police station, and if you're a Super Troopers fan, you can actually hear like the a song in the background when the bear's attacking.
Mm.
That's one of the parts I liked. Um, the problem is though that like the way like this because see the thing is a note for this review is what I was originally planning is I was originally planning on having this thing where I would play like a little recording of my original thoughts coming out of the movie and then comparing them uh to like my present thoughts after I digested the movie some.
Mm-hmm.
And but unfortunately I lost the footage, and so it was like I was liking it better coming out of the theater than when like now that I've than where I am now is what I'm trying to say.
Mm. Now, here's a
Uh,
question. You said
but
that like non-Super Troopers fans wouldn't probably like it as much as Super Troopers fans. So does that mean that it's like more inside baseball, as they're saying? Like if there's so many inside jokes that like people probably wouldn't get it, or is it more like one of those if you don't like a certain kind of humor, you're not gonna like it here?
well, you're cutting off on some parts, but I think I got the gist of what you were saying. And the way it is, I guess you could say that it's inside jokes, but it's
Hmm.
a bad way of saying that because it's more they repeat some of the jokes.
Hmm.
Like they repeat some of the scenarios. I'm not gonna lie, the the crime being committed in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like the crime's basically predictable. It's just it's kind of like I'm not like I'm I'm not gonna say who the villain is, but when you see him, you can literally like because I did this in the movie theater when I saw the villain, I was literally like, yeah, it's him. That's it. First like moment he's on screen, I just pointed to the camera to the screen and I was just like, he's the villain. And
Hmm.
yep, I was right. They have a lot of like the similar fake outs. They have a lot of the similar jokes. They do make some like pretty obvious callbacks. They even get like some recurring actors from the some actors from the original to do some of those jokes.
Hmm.
Um, it's like I like it enough to be like, yeah, you know what? I'll go. I'd probably check it out like one more time.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna go get this like on DVD or anything like that. Um, and if like I honestly like one of the worst things you can do for this movie is watch Super Troopers 1 to hype yourself up for Super Troopers 2.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's actually like one of those where it's just like like watching the original is actually a detriment.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. If you're a Broken Lizard fan, chances are you're probably gonna see it again and I'd be like, you know what? It's good for like a time killer.
Hmm.
But but it's like it's not something that I would say, go crazy and watch. It's not something to be like it's not something that I think will like match up to like any of their best stuff.
Hmm. Oh well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because like there are some parts that I did like. For example, there's a part where I guess you could say like put the spoilers banner up.
Okie dokie. It is up.
Okay, because there's a part where like because the plot of the movie is the plot of the case is there's these there's a drug smuggling thing going on where like the guys are finding like these crates full of drugs and uh like they're trying to figure out what like the drugs are.
Mm-hmm.
Since the guys moved to a new station, they don't have all the necessary equipment. And so they do take the drugs to find out what like each of the drugs does.
Hmm.
And I mean, like, because I like some people like, because I'd seen the cinema snob midnight screenings thing of it, and he was just like, oh, and it's super obvious that they do that. Like, I didn't think it was obvious, and I thought it, and I got like, and I had a good time like during that part
Mm-hmm.
because it was like the more time went on, the more you got to see like what each drug does, and I thought that was funny. To the point that like one of the guys, as a running joke, gets addicted to one of the pills.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but and I'm not saying that I was expecting like super high class quality fucking jokes out of this movie. Uh, because I mean like fucking it's Broken Lizard, like one of my favorite movies of theirs is Beer Fest, and Lord knows that's not a fucking smart ass movie. Well, it's good. It's good. I like it. But
Mm.
yeah, it's just one of those like I'm sitting back I'm sitting here and looking back at it and it's like yeah, I mostly just like it because I'm a fan, but if I was to like recommend this to people, I'd probably be like, nah. Uh, I'd probably if I was gonna go off my rating system, let's see, because remember it's 1 through 4 is bad, 5 and 6 is bland, 7 and up is actually like worth watching, but then I'll go into detail over that. I give it a I give it around a 6.5. You might get like some enjoyment out of it, but if you're like a person that like how can I put this? If you're a person that likes to go see like a lot of movies, and uh you're going in to expect like a little bit better than the original, you're gonna be disappointed.
Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. I think you pretty much hit all the ones I was asking. Well, thinking about anyway. Because that was one of my concerns. Is it a little too close to home?
It unfortunately does. Like there were some parts where it does, because there are some parts where like when it does its own stuff, like its own original stuff,
mm.
it's actually not that bad. Like the beginning starts off with like a dream sequence, but like some of the shit that they do with it is entertaining. But
Mm.
then it kind of gets obvious that it's a dream sequence, but I was still having like some fun because I wanted to see like what are they gonna do with the dream sequence.
Mm.
But uh but overall it's just like, yeah, it's not my favorite of theirs.
Mm.
Honestly, I'd probably just like rather watch the original again.
Mm. Well, there you have it, people. Super Trooper Stew. All right. Nah.
Not that we've had a chance to recover after that other movie.
Now it's time to really go into the shit.
Yep.
Oh boy, here we go, fellas. If you ain't ready for it, you need to get ready for it, because here we go with
The last
Marvel's.
the last movie was a Black Holiday. This is a Marvel fan holiday.
Exactly. Marvel's Avengers Infinity War.
Dun dun dun.
We're here. We made it. It's happening.
You had to put it up through a Truth or Dare review to hear this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep.
Oh,
So,
actually, can you? Because I have something for this. Go ahead and start giving like a an overview or some shit. I'll be right back, like super quick, okay? Because I got something really good for this.
alrighty. Well, I'm gonna start off with. Holy crap! I was not ready for this. um, like this movie, it's so intense, and like there's no lull moments in this movie. Like from beginning to end, it's just go 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 go, and there's so much good in it that I find this movie kind of hard to review without going into spoilers, which we will after the fact. But right now, we're just going to give you a general synopsis of what's going on in this movie. So before you like, oh, I gotta get out of here before they spoil everything. Hold on, we're not gonna go into that just yet. I'll have the banner up like we've been doing earlier. We're not gonna get into there yet, but I'm already gonna say because I've been kind of looking at stuff here and there for Infinity War, but as far as like the commercials and all this other stuff and everything surrounding it, didn't go looking at the trailers. I looked at the first trailer because I wanted to see what it was like, but
And
everything
that's
after
it.
that, yeah, and literally everything after that, if it was not either hearsay or nearsay because somebody slipped, I didn't know about it. So one thing I did hear is that the first 15 minutes, you're gonna know Thanos is the real deal. And I'm just
Oh
wondering to
yeah.
myself, how are they gonna do this? And when I saw it, holy shit!
No, yeah. When they show you that Thanos is a boss.
mm. Oh, they literally they say like, oh, you want to see how bad this guy is? You seen him be in the background so much. You're like, man, what can this guy do? Oh hell yeah, you will
Wow, you
see.
cut off there bad for me.
I don't know why, but I was saying is that like you want to see this bad mofo who's been behind the scenes so much, you gonna see.
It's one of those things where it's just kind of like, oh, they're building this guy up so much. How am I supposed to believe like the hype is real when he shows up? No, yeah. If you're like, especially for the casual Marvel fans, they're gonna be like, oh, please, how can he live up to the hype?
hmm
You know why he lives up to the hype now.
Oh yeah, the first 15 minutes you gonna know before the even title shot comes up. you gonna know Thanos ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, I'm like the casuals will be losing their shit. The people that only know like the fucking the characters through the movies, they're
Mm.
gonna know they're gonna be losing their shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, it's hard to go through this movie without spoilers, so I'm gonna try to nizzle around this as best as I can.
Yes.
But
Well, okay, how about this? How about we go with like into the characters and character interactions?
that kind of goes into the spoiler itself, though.
Well, I mean like but I mean like were they fun, you know, cuz there's some like in the first trailer you see Iron
Mm.
Man with Doctor Strange, you know, like were those fun, you know, for
Mm.
example, how stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like as far as and like when you see characters interact with certain characters, like for the big one, Marvel guy like me who reads the comics and stuff like that, I've already seen these things in comics, but to see it on the big screen and for it to actually work, like it's not like they're meeting for the first time and it's like so awkward and stuff like that. It's like it works. And it's just it feels so good to see, let's say like he said, Iron Man and Doctor Strange, who people have always kept saying like, oh, they're practically the same thing except one's magic and one's smart and shit. Oh
No.
no, when they meet you gonna see a difference.
It's like fucking I swear there was like one thing that like we like you and I talked about where it was just like, you know, oh, I guess you could say that it's like the Book of Life Coco comparison. On the outside, it looks like it's the same thing.
Mm.
When you actually see it, it is worlds apart.
Oh yeah, two completely different people. It's like wow, and then there's like others like let's see, who's a big standout for me that's not really a spoiler. um, I want to say like maybe because it's in the trailer, Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was fun.
Every one of their interactions, I was like, give me more, give me more. I want it.
Yeah, that really was fun.
Mhm. Like they might be the second meeting, the second group meeting thing that I like the most. Like honestly, like yes, this is how it would work in the comics.
Yeah, like for like friggin' like the back and forth, but because I mean like you said, it's in the trailers that he meets them. It's like the back and forth between like Star Lord and Thor, and when he meets fucking Rocket and like Drax and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
That is all. That was like some of the funniest parts in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, oh yeah. Now I will say there was like there's a lot of stuff in there. There was something that slightly bugged me, but after the movie went in, I was like, you know what, whatever. I like it, and that is mainly our main villain's whole thing. Now I'm not gonna say what it was yet, but it is different. I will say that.
He is the next one in a long trend of like villains that are actually good for Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, like the big thing everybody's had a problem with when it came to Marvel movies is that the heroes are great. You love the heroes, but no one's, as far as villain goes, nobody really stands up to that boy Loki. Loki was the standard for a long time. It's just like everybody's just like can't get there, but and then we started to hit a couple of good ones with Michael Keaton as Vulture.
Yeah, you had Vulture, you had Killmonger.
Mm-hmm. You had those
Uh,
two.
I still feel like Zemo might be like is underrated if people are like not counting him.
I can kind of give you that. I didn't love him, but I can kind of give you the Zemo thing. But the reason I didn't love him is because when you really break down his plan, it didn't make any sense. But like I can,
like
no, like I get where you're coming from though. I can see why you would say Zemo would probably be up there with him.
right.
Mm. That was just the thing. Like you had like these few individuals out of like 18 movies. It was just like, okay, that was a good villain. And then the rest of them were just like either, he was there, or He's just the hero, but evil.
Which I mean, like, it's one thing for it to be just because, like, because I'm a person who's like my favorite, one of my favorite villains of all time
Mm-hmm.
in regards to like comic books is Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is like it's the hero but evil, but it's just like he still manages to have decent motivation. He's like the way that he like fucks with like Spider-Man's powers and all that stuff. That's something I think is really good and clever. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's not like it can't be done right. It just it was that I can see why people would say that like some of these characters weren't all that great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, going back to Thanos, because I was going on a tangent.
Yeah,
In the comics, his motivations are completely different. Sorta.
they're goofy.
Like they're kind of, and when you look at it from a real standpoint, it's kind of goofy,
Yeah.
but I can understand it in a way
It
because
it's
it
all
goes.
right for the time and for the medium, but it's gotta be like matching all of those like situations. Otherwise, it had to be in the comic book at its time period,
Mm,
because otherwise it just wouldn't make sense, or it would just be seen as like dopey comic book stuff.
Although I will say there is a part of that that I have to slightly disagree with because it brings in something else, but I also know why it wasn't there, and I'll get you on that in the spoiler section. But regardless, I was kind of iffy about the whole changing that because of that point. But when they really broke it down to where his real motivation was, it made sense. And it made him complex. And it made you think, kind of like Killmonger, he has a point. It's
Literally before we
crazy.
literally before we started this, I was like chatting with my mom, and I told her like what the villain's plan was, or like his reasons why he did it, and she was like, "No, yeah, he's got a point." And my mom doesn't watch these movies at all.
Mm-hmm. Like he has a point. I can't say he doesn't. The way he's going about it is crazy as hell, but can you blame him fully?
And I'm also just kind of like, no, the one way he's gonna do what he's gonna do, he kind of has to do it that way.
Mm-hmm. And it really gave him kind of like not really a villain, but like more of a sociopath kind of thing, which really goes to his title of the Mad Titan. And I actually like that more than his actual thing now as it grew on to me. Because it's like it fits the title so much better than the other thing. it's Thanos is he might be one of my favorite villains. I'm not gonna lie in all the MCU. I'm not gonna lie because when you can make a character like that who already had an origin and change it to the point where it's like I kind of like that better almost. That says a lot.
Like they definitely constructed this shit like with a fine-tooth comb.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, like there was some parts where like I would see some quotes where they're saying like, "Oh, okay, we're trying to see like what we're trying to come up with like a character that is like super complex and like they're like companies and writers and directors making all these promises about making like characters.
Mm-hmm.
So many times they'll say that, and then the movie just falls fucking flat.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times where it's just like they mean it and it sticks and it works.
Yep, every single bit of that. It works and it's there. Like, man, I have to see this movie again. I'm not gonna lie,
I
but like
I'll go into some of that stuff in spoiler corner about my reactions.
I already said it before. I'll say it again. I was not ready.
You go, yeah, this movie like you think you're ready. You like if you feel like it's one of those movies where it's just like, oh, it's the Marvel formula again. Oh my God, you're gonna get gut punched by the end.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like this is a different Marvel film, really, but that also actually goes into a slight negative I have with the movie. Oh no, Spears!
Opinions, get them.
And it's kind of like one of those. It's almost unfair to say it's a negative, but you kind of have to go into it with this kind of negative going in mind if you haven't seen any of the other movies, you are going to be hella lost here.
Not entirely as lost as you might think, because
Oh
like
yeah.
you are gonna like if you're going in like this is your only Marvel movie,
Mm.
then yeah, you're might as well just be like, why are you coming to see this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like maybe you, I would say, in my opinion, I would say you might want to at least see 4 movies before this. In my opinion, 4
Yeah.
movies. Eh,
Uh,
but
I think like
mm,
one of the best ways to play catch up is like you because I think it's like you could start off with Avengers, watch what's it called? Guardians of the Galaxy,
mm-hmm,
watch Thor Ragnarok.
mm-hmm.
Uh which ones would you also add?
I would add Black Panther. You gotta add that one in there because then we're going to Wakanda. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Okay, yeah, because I heard some people say you gotta see Black Panther. I'm like, well, kind of like why? But okay.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna say it, but there's a reason.
Well, location is one thing, and that kind and like you'll probably mention the other one.
Yeah. And there was one other. I just had it in my head. Um, Crap. There was one other movie I would say you have to see.
Probably Civil War, probably
Civil War.
Avengers
That's
2.
the one.
Yeah, yeah. So it would probably be like watch Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Civil War, and Black Panther.
Yes. Because you're gonna be at least caught up enough to be like, okay, I understand what's going on. You might not know everything, but you get the gist.
Right.
And yeah, like that's my really big criticism. Like there is other criticism that goes into spoilers, but as far as like the one that's like, mm, if you're just new, you're not gonna want to see this movie because you're gonna be like, what, where, huh?
Yeah, you're just gonna be like, how come this guy can do magic, and what's up with him living in space, and what's up with this stuff, and what's up with that stuff?
What are these gems? What is this? What is that on his head? I don't get any of this.
Why has he got a raisin for a face?
Who's that guy? Why is he there? Why is he a tree?
Is that all he can say?
Did he say anything else? But I'm trying to think of another one that wouldn't go into spoiler territory. But I can't really think of one. And this one, although it kind of worked on me in the end, sorta, but this one might be a little bit more to others, and it's kind of like Thanos' whole backstory thing was kind of like, there, okay, and we're done.
It was kind of quick, but I did kind of feel like they did it because like it was quick but to the point, and I feel like you could you could understand what was going on and like why he did it.
Yeah, I'll say this, you'll get the gist. Like you're not gonna be like completely like, okay, but why? Like you'll get the gist, but like I wanted more. Like I wanted a bit more somewhere. I don't know where they could have put it because this movie is long as shit. But I wanted more.
It's long and it's packed to the brim with stuff.
And it's not like, oh, you could just cut that. No, there's too much in here that you can't really cut it out because it adds to the story.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those like every like most movies you can be like, well, if they just cut this out and just added this, it would have been a better movie. I really can't see a section like that in there because everything adds to the plot.
Yeah, like I try to think of like what happens in the story, and I go like, there was like no unnecessary moments. Some of like there's like payoff and stuff.
Which is, like I said before, I need to see the movie again because it's so much at once that your brain doesn't have time to process it all.
Oh yeah, it's like an amusement park ride. It's like a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Like you're just going and then it's like, oh, what's that? What's that? Wait, why? Whoa, wait, oh, it's over there.
They're fighting.
Oh crap! So much, and it's good that way because it keeps a good pacing. There's no lulls. Like you're not bored in anything in it. Like you're always watching, saying, "Okay, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? Oh crap, that happened. What can happen after that?" It's always like that.
Oh yeah, because like this is one of the things I talked to like my friend that I went to see the movie with about is that it's like it has like when the movie kicks off, it like because a lot of times it'll be like, okay, we're going slow and then we're building up and then building up and then we're gonna end like on the big note and then just kind of like taper off to the end like for the last conclusion part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This movie is like, okay, we're starting here and go, and that's it.
And we're only going up. Okay, bye.
It's pretty much like here's the speed that we're going at. If you can't keep up, you might have to watch this movie again.
Oh, absolutely. And okay, that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. Although, would that be a spoiler? You know what? I'm gonna say that for a spoiler section. But overall, I think I've pretty much hit most of the stuff I can say without spoiling.
Yeah, because like the story's great, like the characters are great. I mean, like the effects. Good God, some of them are just like super amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, like there were like no real lulls in the story. There was like no moments where I gasped so much in this movie.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my rating here on this one. Well, because I have to do two ratings actually. One for me personally, because holy shit, comic book fan galore. For me personally, 10 out of 10. Without a doubt, 10 out of 10. For me as a kind of critic person though, 8 out of 10.
As a critic,
As a critic person, 8 out of 10. And I'll tell you why in the spoilers.
in the spoiler corner.
But what about you, good sir?
I would give it just the one rating, which is I give it a 9.5 out of 10. There are some insanely good parts. There's like I was reacting so much in that fucking theater.
Hmm.
If I was in a room alone, I'd be fucking yelling at the top of my lungs.
Hmm.
They did so much of the stuff I wanted. They like even some of the stuff that I want, like that when we get into spoiler corner,
Hmm.
I'll be telling you, dude, that it's just like I honestly didn't even think that they pulled some of these moves. I
Hmm.
was having an argument with my brother as to like why I didn't like the movie better, and like fucking I'm usually like the guy that's going to my brother. It's just like, what are you crazy? This like should have gotten higher.
Hmm.
Like, oh man, I cannot wait till we get to some of the spoiler parts.
Oh, and just so everyone to be clear that's listening, just because I gave it an 8 out of 10 out of my critic level does not mean I didn't just dislike the movie that much. I rarely give movies above a 7. So the fact I gave it an 8 is hella good.
You probably should have like labeled your system like I did. But like,
Yeah.
like okay, let me ask you this.
Mm.
Because I think this might actually be able to like leave some people, get some people off your back, making you when you're saying like, oh, as a critic, uh, which we haven't drunk critic water yet, so
Oh, my trigger water. I've left it at home. I am home.
but it's like this. Here's the way I would ask this question.
Mm.
Do you think this is better than the original Avengers? I'm talking like the
Oh.
event and the movie itself.
Oh, literally on scale. That's hard, actually.
I think it's better. It does some ballsy shit. The way that like the history that is involved in this, the way that like some people are just kind of like involved, and like you're talking about like ambitious crossover. Like they have some stuff that like you would not honestly not even expect to see in these movies. Like comparing to when they start off with Avengers, I feel like this is like I think it's almost kind of like if you're going to talk about a movie event that's bigger than the original Avengers, I honestly feel like it's this one.
And honestly, I'm actually like 100% like, yes, you are correct in that. I'm not gonna even say that you're wrong on that in any aspect of that. The reason why it's hard for me is because with the original Avengers, it was such an event that nobody thought was ever going to happen. No one. If you said the Avengers were going to happen, people thought you were crazy. And not only did it hit so hard that it made the entire MCU basically possible in a way that nobody even thought could happen. Now, with Avengers Infinity War, is another event that people thought probably wasn't going to happen, but it wasn't so much because the Avengers already happened. And on top of some other spoilers that happened in there that I'm not going to go into right now, is the reason why it makes it hard for me to put this over Avengers just right off the bat. Now, I'm not going to say that it doesn't put it over there, because, I mean, like I said, the comic book geek in me was like, holy shit everywhere.
Oh man, when we get to the spoilers, I'm just gonna be pulling out like fucking certain products that I'm just gonna be like, I can't believe this.
But that's my reasoning. Like what you said perfectly. Literally, I see your point, and I'm not gonna argue that at all because it all makes perfect sense. That's just the way I saw it.
What? I made sense?
What? But shall we get on to the good old spoilers?
We needed like a theme for like when we get to spoiler corner.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Ask Raz. But
okay, so spoilers, right? Okay, and I'm giving you a countdown, everybody listening, so you know spoilers. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my
Holy
god, fucking
shit.
Thanos!
He killed fucking half the people.
He killed so many people.
Like what?
Like holy shit! Like he starts off with like 3 kills.
Literally, it's like rapid succession. Boom,
And some
boom,
people, and then like, and like some people might be like, well, 3 kills, it's not important. It's like, yeah, he kills off at the like. If you've seen Thor Ragnarok, he kills off basically. If it wasn't half, it was the whole ship. The whole ship full of Asgardians, like from Thor Ragnarok, dead. And the 3 that he I'm gonna switch to 2 because I feel like I'm adding that last one. The 2 kills that he gets is that are important is Heimdall and Loki. They're dead.
Like when he killed Loki, I was thinking to myself, holy shit. Anybody's gone now. Oh shit.
Yeah, because it's like this. It's serious because you have the like the multitude of like faceless, nameless Asgardians, so you know that he's bad. When he kills main characters from franchises, that like starts to hit you like on a more personal and emotional level.
But
go
ahead.
Because I was gonna say because the people that like Loki, they're hurt that he's dead. The people that like Heimdall, especially after Thor Ragnarok, they're gonna be sad he's dead. Like this guy comes in and wrecks shit up.
And I would say like for a lot of people, I'm sure that was their oh shit, Thanos is not to be fucked with. My one.
I know which one he's gonna mention. It's this one.
Oh my gosh. When he beat the shit out of the Hulk, like literally, I counted 4, like maybe 3 punches and a fucking like throwdown, and Hulk is out.
it was like leading closer to 10. I think it was like 6, like 5, 6. I'm gonna say 6.
No, let's say like 6 or 7, but literally. Less than like what 10 15 seconds at most.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you know. Like fucking the ship's like fucked up. Like Heimdall's on his back. Like Loki is like fucking just off in the corner, and then he pulls like the fucking the Tony Stark line. Like he introduces him like fan moment right there because he'll be like, oh, we have a Hulk. Hulk literally comes rushing in, starts punching Thanos, and it's just like he almost like brushes them off. He gets hit like 1 or 2 times, then he's just like, okay, and then he starts punching like Hulk back, but like what makes it even crazier is that like you see like Hulk like just throwing his wild like fucking like brawler fists, and then Thanos, if you look at him, he's doing like some kind of alien martial arts. And
Oh
he's
yeah.
doing like tactical strikes and everything. He wrecks Hulk up because he uses like an actual martial art style.
Like you say, oh yeah, that's cute. Let me do this. Back.
Da 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 Hadouken!
And then I just like how he just chucks him like kapow. He's just out cold.
He punches him back to Banner.
It's like, okay, we're done. You're done.
Okay, now he doesn't punch him back into Bruce Banner, but he knocks him out stone cold.
Oh yeah, the second he just picked him up and oh, okay. You were not to be fucked with.
Because like remember, like that's like Hulk is their heaviest hitter. It's like in Ragnarok. Oh, he like because it was like, or rather in Avengers, he like single-handedly punches that one giant like space worm.
Mm.
In Ragnarok, it's like, oh, like here's the undefeated champion. No one's beaten him in this alien war world. Thanos makes him look like a punk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this is the Hulk that was about to fight a giant fucking fire demon, like no problem. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to fuck that shit up. Thanos was like, that's cute. Now get over here and let me smack you a little bit.
And remember, Hulk was like disappointed he didn't get to finish off the fire demon.
Exactly. And he just gets fucking owned. It's so crazy.
It's so awesome.
Oh man. It's just, oh, okay, we're done. Everybody go home. We're all gonna die. Oh man. Oh gosh. But then like
And
when I want to say like the moment where Tony and I want to go more in depth with that when Tony and Doctor Strange went in, like their philosophies were so different. It's like, oh, you have no idea what's going on. No, I know exactly what's going on, motherfucker. And you're gonna listen to me.
you're cutting off like super bad for me, dude.
I don't know why. I'm fine on the stream.
Huh. Well, I mean, because it's well, okay. So what'd you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying like you really see the philosophy of Tony versus Doctor Strange in that one conversation they had on the ship when Doctor Strange gets saved by him and Spider-Man.
Right.
Like it's like, yeah, I can do things and learn things you can't even fathom. And then Tony's just like, oh yeah, I've seen this shit.
I know what we're dealing with because I've seen it firsthand.
Exactly. And he's like, well, no, I don't need you. And it's like Tony's like, no, we need to take it to him. Because if you take it to Earth, we're fucked.
Oh man.
It's like, oh my gosh, you see the facades? It's like butting heads. I love it.
And like the thing I like about it is like they were butting heads,
Mhm.
but it's a totally different kind of like butting heads than if you were like say watching the original Avengers with
Oh yeah,
Tony Stark
absolutely.
and Captain America. Because that one's like more like a personal level. This one's more of like they have the same goal and they agree on that,
Mhm.
but they still are butting heads about like what's the strategy.
Mhm. Like literally, the Captain America versus Iron Man one was more like a dick swinging contest. It was like, oh yeah, well I can do this. Well, I'm a playboy philanthropist and stuff. Like, okay, boys, let's calm the fuck down. But I love that aspect. Like those kind of meetings were just like, yes, straight off the page. This is how it
Like
works.
I'm not gonna lie, there was a part in the I was you might have seen like the meme picture when they were like working on Infinity War when they were filming
Mm.
about how like there was that one line that Iron Man says to Doctor Strange in the comics
Mm.
where like they call themselves where he calls them beard bros.
Mm.
Honestly, I was like I was looking out in the movie to see if they actually did that.
It would have been nice, but I feel like that would have been on the nose too, like more inside baseball kind of thing.
Right.
And it might have been a little bit jarring as well.
I can see that.
But I mean, if they did do that, I'd give them props. It's like, hey, I see what you did there. Oh man, and I'm not gonna lie, some Mantis, who I thought was completely useless, I'm not gonna lie to you, she stepped up. She was actually something that could be used here.
She was pretty important, especially like in that one scene
Mm-hmm.
where like the big fucking brawl between the heroes and Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually really important. They wouldn't have even gotten that far without her.
Oh yeah, like she was a real MVP there. I was surprised and actually happy about it. 'Cause I'm thinking like, okay, what's she gonna do? Make somebody fall asleep? And lo and behold,
She was fucking trying that, but in like the best way.
it's like, well, there you go. But I will say though, because I have been seeing this online, is that people are really upset about that scene because of the whole Star Lord thing. But I want to say, keep in mind, Star Lord is practically a kid.
He's a kid, and I feel like this is part of the reason why the requirements for seeing Infinity War is like the um both Guardians of the Galaxy movies,
Mm-hmm.
because like since from the first half, from the like second half onward, or maybe even first half of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, you can already start to see like the romantic stuff showing up between Star Lord and Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
it's Drax
so,
being silly.
yeah. So like when the moment happens, which you can't get mad at us, we're in spoiler side.
I know,
Um,
right?
like when Gamora dies, like you
Mm-hmm.
cannot get mad at him for how he's emotionally irrational
Oh
at
yeah.
that moment.
I mean, it's in his character. You can't deny that.
Yeah, he's irrational when he's happy.
Yeah. But I do want to go back to that whole when she dies thing, because I do have a slight problem, not with her dying, well, somewhat with her dying, but not really as much as how they got to the Soul Stone.
Jess is like, "Oh, you're killing the black actresses now, is that it?"
Well, oh, it's funny. I'm gonna get to that in a second, actually. After this, because we don't, I won't want to get to there yet. It's one of those nitpicky almost things, almost where like when they get to the whole Soul Stone thing,
Oh,
I'm
you mean
not
like
gonna
about
lie.
how obvious it was?
Yes, like it's just like, really.
And yeah, I can see why. I mean, I was okay with it because I was just kind of like it wasn't a negative for me, but it was just like neutral, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But yeah, she was kind of dumb in like how long it took her to fucking figure it out.
Oh no, I wasn't talking. Not that part. I know. Actually, I actually kind of like that part, sorta. Although I am with that on that what you brought up. It was the fact of how they found where the Soul Stone was, because like, and this might have been one of those like we're speculating things, and I kind of wish it was that thing, but where it was just kind of in a random place, really. It's just like, really, is this randomly here? No, I will say that reveal when they got to that place.
Oh my god, I was
I
dead.
I audibly screamed, "What?"
I like I covered my mouth up like at least 5 times, just doing like a kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I did do that. That was like one of those. Like that movie was like the whole thing was like such an awesome blur that I'm pretty sure I did like cover my mouth when I saw that.
Mm-hmm. And for those who are asking, it was the reveal of Red Skull.
Yeah, I almost feel like I have to go back to this moment because it's like when when my brother and I saw Avengers 1 in theaters
Mm-hmm.
and they revealed Thanos. There was a part where like when my brother said he overheard someone in the audience asking when after like the Thanos reveal that where someone said, "Is that Red Skull?" And it's like, "No, bitch, that's not Red Skull at all." And then it's like the fact that this moment like is paid back again is just like the best shit. Like we were even speculating like fucking the like the about the Tesseract and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
when like the portal opened up and when they started bringing in the Infinity Stones and all that. Oh man, that payoff was just so insane.
And see, the thing is, it should have clicked in my head that he went somewhere. Like at the time, it clicked in my head. He went somewhere. He wasn't dead. He's probably somewhere. But I did think to myself, someone's coming back. A villain is coming back. I don't know who it is, but a villain's coming back. And when I saw that, I was like, what?
I knew he was gone, but I always did. I never speculated him because I always did think, okay, there's like a good chance that he's dead. So I never like really looked into it. So when they revealed it, it was like, because I had my mind open for that stuff, I was just like, oh my god, they brought him back. Yes, of course, because the Tesseract and the wormhole. Oh my god.
Like it literally kind of all just kind of.
It was like
shit.
lightning struck.
What?
Like lightning struck your brain, and you're just like, holy god, crap, amazing.
Like going back to that Gamora thing though, like I know some people probably didn't fully like it, but I actually kind of loved it a little bit. Because she had this moment of, haha, you lose. It's a point that you're never going to get what you want because you don't love anything. And then when she had that realization, it was like oh shit.
I feel like it wouldn't be getting hated as much as it is. Well, I'll say this. Because I have seen some stuff, and some people were like ragging on that. And I feel like it wouldn't be as bad as it is if she just, if that's one of the things you could shorten. Her realization could be shortened.
See, I wouldn't do that because it's when she gets to that realization, you can see the horror and everything in her face after she was so happy. Like I feel like you can't shorten that moment. Cause
I feel like it can, but maybe not as much as you might be thinking.
Because I've read some of that too, and like there are people saying you could have shortened it or even slightly taken it out completely.
But, no, that part no.
But like people are like super shortening it, like oh my gosh, super shortening it. It's like no, man.
No,
you gotta get
not
the realization,
even. Man. Yeah, I'm kind of like maybe cut like a third of the time, a fourth. Not nothing drastic, but definitely like a little bit like less of the taunting or something like that. But like to cut it off entirely is just like no. What are you, stupid?
Now. My thing that confused me a little bit was the fact that they killed her, but they're announcing like a all-female thing, kind of Avengers thing, like way, way, way down the line. And I'm thinking to myself, because my thought process on this is anybody who was killed before Snap is gone.
Yeah.
But like anybody killed after that has a chance.
No, yeah, that's kind of my thought process too. That anyone before Snap is like permadead. So like Loki, Heimdall, Gamora, they're gone. They're dead.
Yeah. So it makes me because there's a storybook arc that I think they're going with, but if they're going with that storybook arc, they need Gamora. She's a pivotal point in that story arc. So and then they also have Guardians 3, which also made me think, what?
Well, like. Let's keep going because when we get to that moment, I will tell you there's a part where I have a theory about this, and it kind of ties into to this one thing I got the thing I want to pick up, and the comic book.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to Thor stuff was pretty cool, and when he did that little
the Peter Dinklage part,
dude, I was dying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, they did not do that.
When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's right, he's in this.
Because like I literally had a bunch of, like my theater was cracking up because he's like a fucking giant when everybody knows he's a midget. Like what?
I love those kinds of like jokes and moments where it's like, oh well, here's what you assume, and here's the reverse.
It's like well, you did not just do that.
I love that they did that.
I was cracking up so hard. It was like, wow, really? We're doing this, huh?
That was amazing. Although to be fair, like one of the things about it is like his story is also like tragic as all hell.
Oh yeah. Anybody who goes against Thanos, oh, you gonna get that work.
He didn't even go against them though, because like the thing is, again, we're on spoiler side. He like Peter Dinklage's character. We'll just call him Dinklage because I don't remember his name.
Mm.
It's one of those like fucking made one of those like Thor names where you can't really remember it.
Dragon
Like
Odinson of the Odinson tribe.
yeah. So anyway, like fucking Dinklage. His story is that he's a dwarf where like that worked on the place, like these Halo rings kind of rip off place where they made Thor's hammer.
Mm.
And when Thanos shows up, he asks the dwarves to make his glove, to
Mm.
make the Infinity Gauntlet.
Mm.
But all the dwarves say no except for Dinklage. Because his thought process is, if I can make it, maybe he'll spare us.
Mm.
So he makes it, and then like Thanos says, "Okay, thanks a lot. You gave me what I wanted. Fuck these other guys." He's the last dwarf alive in that system, in
Mm.
that ring.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're like enjoying like the whole thing of like ha ha ha, fucking Dinklage is giant even though he's a little person in real life. Ha ha, everyone I know and love is dead. Oh shit.
Kind of like the Dragon Ball Evolution moment when you put it that way.
Don't mention that movie that doesn't exist.
It really did sound like that, though.
Well, then mention better movies. Don't talk about stuff that doesn't exist.
I can't when you get it so perfectly. Stop doing that, damn it. But no,
It's not my fault they're bad writers.
but my favorite part of that whole segment was the fact that Groot literally took a limb off and made the handle for the axe.
Oh, when they did that, I was like, that is badass.
Everything about the scene is just straight badass.
It was either funny or badass because it'll be like, because there was that part where like Thor's gonna hold open like the heat source so that they can make his axe. And like freaking Thor says, "Don't worry, I'll only like it'll only kill me if I die."
Yes, that's what that means. Oh man. But then we get to one of my problems, sorta, which is the land of Wakanda. And the reason I have a problem with this one is
And it's Wakanda.
and it's Wakanda. Is I feel like something was shortened too much there. Like there should have been more Wakanda. Like, because you have these people who are literally just getting there. Like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? Like, because you had the whole moment with what's his name? Damn it, Banner and Don Cheadle's character. Yeah, doing like the whole bowing thing to the king. Is like, we don't do that here.
Right.
And I feel like there should have been more to that, like more of them learning Wakanda, like not like a whole hour or something like that. But like a little bit more like, hey, check out this thing, check out that thing. Like it's a scientist who's super smart in a super ridiculous place.
I can see that. I can understand. I can sort of agree that like there could have been like a little bit more in like around the Wakanda section. Because you're just talking the peaceful part, right? Not about like the holy shit, the Resident Evil monsters are coming.
No, not that part. Because like it's like we get there and then fighting happens. Like whoa, wait. I feel like there's a whole section that should have been here.
I kind of understand that, and I feel like it could have been stretched out a bit more. I can agree with that. But I don't think that it's like it's like super terrible with what we got, because they were just kind of like, well, like we got to be fucking moving fast because shit's like happening like super bad.
Oh yeah, don't be like, oh, this is what ruins the movie. It's so bad. No, it's like it's just one of those things. That's like that should have been more somewhere there.
I'm kind of more like there could have been more. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just seems weird. Like, oh, we're here. And now we know each other, fighting now. It's like, wait, what? Although I will say there was something in there I wanted. I'm not going to hold this against the movie, but I really wanted this. And that was like some kind of banter between Shuri and Tony Stark. Like something.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been fun. Cause
Mm,
while she's like a bit of a, like more of a I guess like playful arrogant or like
mm.
she's a kid, so she's always like that playful attitude versus like fucking Stark's like uber smugness. That would have been like fun to see them bounce off each other.
Mm. Like I know we got the Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, which is still good. Don't get me wrong. Wouldn't want to take that away. I really wanted that.
Yeah, it. But like the way that the movie plays out, it is kind of like yeah, but you also understand why they weren't able to.
Oh,
So
I
like
know.
yeah yeah
They're two
I know
totally
you're not
different
holding it
places.
against it and everything, but yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Um and
no, that was like
so
one of my problems with it. That kind of had me knock it down a bit. It's the critic side. The critic side, not the me side. The critic side.
damn your critic side. You should get that lobotomized.
I know. I'm working on it.
I'm raising money from these videos.
But then, like we get to the whole, they're getting ready, they're getting good to fight, and then we have M'Baku, my boy, M'Baku. We're vegetarians, M'Baku. And we have a pretty big fight, like really. And then we really, I did want to touch on I forgot what they're actually called. But it's like Thanos' crew, like his
Oh, I
like
think they're like the Black
the
Order or
Black
something like
Order.
that.
That's what they are. Everyone in the Black Order had a good time to shine, in my opinion.
Uh yeah, they all had like decent screen time and everything. I'm not gonna say that like they were like super developed characters. They
Oh
were
no.
basically henchmen,
Mm.
but like they had enough of an identity to the point that it's just like there's only one of them where I can say I didn't really know him.
Mm.
The others, like some of there was like some obvious like design stuff, and there was like some obvious like characteristics to them where I am kind of like, no, yeah, I like I can tell them apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And
only one that just seemed like generic as all hell.
it was probably the big one, right? Like the big one.
Nope. Nope. It's this like it's the one that like Scarlet Witch injures, like this one like elf looking dude.
One elf looking. Oh, really? Him?
Yeah.
I would have picked the big guy. He didn't even have any speaking lines.
He didn't really talk that much and everything, but like he was like I did like the him in the fight in the beginning of like like the old looking like telekinetic and big guy kind of like dynamic that they had during that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that because like since Hulk was kind of not there to like match him,
Mm-hmm.
he did kind of have like he filled the void that Hulk left behind.
Mm. No, fuck you then. No.
Fuck you too.
No, I mean, I kind of feel it's the other way around, but I can see where you're going with that, though.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like the elf looking dude. Uh, he was the one where it's just like outside of him getting shot, I don't really remember what he did.
Hmm. Well, like he was beating the shit out of Vision.
I remember he like stabbed them with the weapons and stuff, but like
like,
there was nothing unique to his style. You know what I mean?
like the little thing he stabbed him with, like he was able to stop the Mind Stone with that thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's like a me thing, cause like it, yeah, just like the biggest thing I can remember from him is he just got like fucked up by Scarlet Witch. That's about it.
Hmm. I thought he was stabbed by like not Scarlet Witch. I thought he was stabbed by what's her name?
Oh,
Not
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow. Yeah.
I remember like all I can say I thought it was like he got fucked up by Scarlet Witch. All I can say for sure that I can remember
Mm-hmm.
is that he was like the one that like got like seriously wounded before the Wakanda fight.
Mm. Well, he was dead
If
by then. Like he was like, "Where's your boyfriend?" Yeah, you'll have his vengeance.
yeah, so
But like, yeah, the Wakanda fight was definitely big. Although I do hear the naysayers saying, "See, this is what Black Panther's big thing should have been and whatnot." It's like, cool your jets, man.
yeah, this is like fuck. This one was like crazier. Yeah.
Mm. Although I will say, One thing I did think about the entire fight was, where are the rhinos?
They probably would be like, no, we're not gonna endanger our animals with like this crazy shit.
Like, it literally made me think, it's like, wait a minute, where are the rhinos? They would be so big in this fight. What the?
I kind of forgot about the rhino since they only kind of like pull them out in the last bit of the fight, and there was only like three big rhinos.
Hmm.
But so like I forgot about them. But I thought that the way that the fight went was like already entertaining enough. Like seriously, am I the only one that thought that like the monsters design looked like something out of Resident Evil?
No, I was thinking of something else, like another Alien game I played way back. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing here?
No, yeah, like it's like some other like you're part of a different franchise. What are you doing here?
But and then we get to, well, we talked about the moment with Peter, Star Lord, and that fight was actually very good too. And I will
Okay,
say, like,
that fight right there
hmm,
is like the one of the biggest factors as to why my rating for it was so high.
hmm,
Because holy shit, they
hmm.
were pulling off stuff from Marvel superheroes. No fucking joke.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like like when people talk about like, oh my god, I got to see something from my childhood on the big screen. Marvel superheroes moments were those for me. He fucking did the Space Jam fucking super.
Hmm.
When he blows up the planet and then starts launching the asteroids at them,
Hmm.
I was like stomping my feet, losing my mind. I was just like, fucking yes!
I will say, like, that was, I did say to myself in my head, like, I might my mom said I whispered it, but it was like, that's a nice callback.
Because like I'll say this, one of like when it came to the Captain America movies,
Hmm.
because there's the thing that my brother and I have, where for the people that don't know, because obviously that's gonna be everyone. um,
Yep.
there's a thing my brother and I have where we have what we call a 10 out of 10 requirement,
Hmm.
which is the movie could be absolute dog shit, but if they do this one thing, no matter what, the movie will always get a 10 out of 10 from me.
Hmm.
So it could be like, oh my god, it was as bad as Truth or Dare, but it did this one thing, 10 out of 10.
Hmm.
And while it didn't do my 10 out of 10 requirement,
Hmm.
it was damn close.
Hmm.
Because for me, my 10 out of 10 requirement for the movie is he did the Space Gem Ultimate. I wanted him to use the Power Gem Ultimate from Marvel Superheroes.
Hmm. Yeah, I could see that. That would be kind of hard to CGI though.
Well, I mean, like to be fair, they did have a CGI sun in the movie,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
it's like the bigger thing is more of like to find the right target to hit that with. That yeah, I can see that being a problem.
Hmm.
Um, to do it though, like no, they had the CGI sun in the movie. You can't tell me any other thing.
I
My
definitely
brother,
could. The budget would not have let that happen.
I think the story didn't let it happen, but it's like like I'm saying, I lost my shit seeing the Space Jam.
Hmm.
It was in the movie, like I said, I gave it a 9.5. I was already damn close to a 10 out of 10 and to begin with.
Hmm.
It's like literally like my thing about the way I reviewed like Mario Odyssey. It
Hmm.
was like a 9.7 and then it did my 10 out of 10 requirement, so it's just like was it really that far off?
Hmm. Yeah, that fight. My favorite part was him versus Doctor Strange. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Oh, the effects that they were doing. They're like the multiple version of Strange, and I think it's like he closes his hand and does a shockwave that takes out all the after images, all the tentacles that freaking Strange used against uh Thanos to like hold him down, and he just breaks them off like nothing.
Hmm. Now we're getting to the point where I think you could have cut something, in my opinion, at least a little bit, in my opinion, because once again we're in spoilers territory. But he ends up actually beating everybody up there and gets the time stone from Doctor Strange. Here's the thing about that whole entire sequence after the fact is they have this big moment where Scarlet Witch has to kill Vision by destroying the Mind Stone. I think that could have been cut a little bit. And here's the reason why. He has the Time Stone. Whatever the fuck they do is they're fucked. It doesn't matter.
Right. But I'll say this as devil's advocate.
Mm.
That remember that there will still be a chance for people to see to have missed a couple of the Marvel movies. Like the guy that I went to see the movie with,
Mm.
he had missed a good chunk of them. So when that moment happened, when Vision's destroyed, and so like Thanos uses the Time Stone to reverse time and bring back Vision and the Time Stone, he was part of that population where it's like he didn't see Doctor Strange, so that moment really worked for him.
See, and I feel like he's an anomaly though, because I feel like not a lot of people who don't know the Marvel things would know what the fuck just happened. Cause like even my mom didn't know what the fuck this happened, and she's seen a good bit of the movies.
I don't know. I don't think he's as much an anomaly. I feel like sometimes we like how can I put this? Like we just assume that a lot of people, like almost everyone, has seen the movies.
But see, that's the thing though. I feel like when you take that out of the equation, things don't just click in your head like that. Because you've already seen him do crazy shit beforehand with this. So for all they know, he could have been doing this, be able to do this beforehand. Because with the reality gem earlier, that could have just been a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, it's like it's part of the reason. One of the flaws about like the movie, which is like what I can see from your point,
Hmm.
is that like it's a lot of like what ifs and jigsaw puzzles and all that stuff for lining up. Because some people can be right on one part, but some other people could be right on another part. You
Hmm.
know, so it's kind of like the whole thing is really hard to line up and say it pleases everyone.
Yeah, which is why I had to dock it again. It's like one of those things where like for me, yes, 10 out of 10, but I have to think from a wider perspective. And with that, I kind of have to knock it down that point.
Right. I don't know. I'm still sticking to my score.
Well, I mean, of course, you don't have a critic score like I do.
My score's better.
My score was a 10 out of 10, so fuck you. But no, that was one of the things that I just thought they should have been able to cut some of that out. Because, I mean, like, literally, I saw it the second he got the time stone. I literally thought to myself, okay, so whatever plan the other group has, because he's coming for them, is fucked. Because not only do they not know he has the time stone, but whatever they're probably going to think of to do, to, like killing him, will not work.
There was um there was a part of me that did think that if they do blow up the Infinity Stone, there was a part of me that was wondering, like, is it possible? Because like sometimes, like some fiction will do this, where an item is like so powerful that even reversing time doesn't stop it.
See,
Like
I would
doesn't
have
bring
a
it back.
problem with that from the comic book standpoint. If they did do that, I would actually have a problem with that if they did that, because that would
Yeah,
like not make any sense in any of the lores ever. And
yeah. Like I was kind of like, because I remember thinking that it was just like, oh shit, they killed Vision and all that stuff. They actually did successfully do it. And I thought, there is one way to get it back, but whether or not it will work because of that assumption I made,
mm,
that's why I was just kind of like, I was invested.
mm. See, I knew it because if they did that, so much hate. I guarantee you, so much hate would have happened in that moment because people would have been like, "What? You changed that? Are you fucking nuts?"
Yeah, but I don't know. I still love that. I still loved like the fights, and I know you're not knocking them down or anything like that.
No, no.
I'm just saying that it's just like I still loved a lot of I still love the way it played out.
Mm.
And then, is that about it? Should we get to the ending or?
Well, yeah, let's get to the because that's where the real point knock, the real critic point knock happens.
It's because they kill Black Panther, isn't it?
Partly, it's the fact that they didn't kill any of the OG Avengers, but all the new ones, and all the OG Avengers are white. They literally killed nobody of color.
You mean didn't kill?
You know what I meant. But literally, Black Panther, Falcon, pretty much all the Guardians of the Galaxy except for Raccoon. Literally, the white people lived. It's like, what? And it's one of those things that I think they did the Black Panther thing because it was already too late. Because they didn't realize that, oh my gosh, Black Panther made so much money. We need to change this. It's kind of already too late. The movie's out.
Right.
But it was just one of those moments like, seriously? Like, and I'm not talking about like, oh, all Wakanda dead. It's because we still have Okoye and Shuri and stuff. Well, I hope we still have Shuri. But, but I mean, like, any of the main ones, they're gone. It's like, what just happened? Like, you didn't mix it up a little bit?
I can give you that they could have mixed it up a bit more. I was surprised that they killed off Black Panther because I did
was
think
hella
that
surprised.
I did think I did think that they could have like mixed it up more. I do think that I was a little surprised that they didn't kill off like some more OG Avengers.
I mean, like, none of them gone. Like, that was insane to me.
I think if they could have killed off anyone from the OGs, they could have killed off Hulk, and they could have killed off Iron Man. But I don't know how many of like the other super smart scientists survived, so.
Well, right now, it's really Shuri. Well, like I said, I think she survived. Shuri and Iron Man. Well, and Banner, I guess. Yeah, it's just those three now.
Yeah, so like that's the part where I'm kind of like, because you are gonna have to kill off some of the characters to meet like specific requirements because you're gonna need these guys. You're gonna need like the charismatic Captain America. You're gonna need like the super powered Thor or Hulk. This is one of the ones where I'm just kind of like, you could have killed off one of these guys. You do need like the super scientists to not only get to Earth, but you also to like find a way to restore everything back to normal.
And see, I would actually argue about the Captain America one because another spoiler. In credits, we find out that Nick Fury just called somebody. And if you don't know who this is, it's Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. In the comics, Captain Marvel takes the place of Captain America as far as a leader goes. She's the charismatic one and whatnot. She's coming. We know that she's coming now. She literally could have taken the place of Captain America in multiple ways. Not only that, but there's
still gonna have to introduce her though.
Which you're going to in the next movie that's coming out. Literally, the movie is going to come out before the next Avengers movie. So you can literally introduce her there. Not only that, but there's two other characters who also take up the place of Captain America that you killed off. And Bucky, I'm sorry, I gotta point this out. This isn't a knock, but Bucky can't get a break. Like, goddamn. I mean, seriously, you die in the first Avenger movie, and then, like, the Captain America first Avenger, and then you come back in Winter Soldier all fucked up and whatnot in the head. Then you're fucked up again in Civil War, and you finally get rehabilitated only to die again. What the hell? You should just stay down. Just don't get up.
Never let it be said that they don't also fuck with white people.
Like they fuck with that one white one real good. No, this is like what? Why?
No, but yeah, like this the because of the ending, I am honestly like this is Marvel's like Empire Strikes Back, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
way that
absolutely.
like um the way that the movie ends, like my theater was silent.
Oh yeah, my theater was silent. I guarantee you, everybody's theater, because I see that in reviews, the theaters are silent at the end. And not only that, but it doesn't help that there's that sad ass Marvel Avengers theme playing in the credits. It doesn't help either.
No, yeah, it is because like this movie like throws you for a loop in like some of the best possible ways, man.
And
Because like I mean like hell, the fact that you like when I told my mom, like the villain wins, she just gave me like this look of like, did he say that right? Did he mean to say that?
oh yeah, absolutely. Like without a doubt, like the villain wins, legit.
Yeah, it's like no, there's nothing much else that can be said other than yeah, Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet, like complete,
Mhm.
and then snaps his fingers. People turn to ash. I've seen some ash memes already.
Mhm.
Um, and fucking he wins.
Mhm. Yep. There you go. That's it. That's the end of the movie. Oh shit! And at the very end, it's like Thanos will return. Not the Avengers will return. Not Iron
Nope.
Man will return. Thanos will return.
Spider-Man sure as hell isn't gonna return.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I was almost in tears at that point. Oh,
Like
that broke my heart.
it wounded me. But part of the reason why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, like a natural 10 out of 10,
Mm,
is because for me, the moment that was missing was the tears. I got like a tiny bit choked up, like I felt something,
mm,
but there was no moment where I fucking like started crying.
mm.
And I
Yeah.
feel like if it does happen, it's not gonna be till part two.
Oh yeah. But no, I was close because literally just seeing his expression and his face and
The
his
way that he was going,
words,
Mr. Stark, I don't want to go.
like oh my gosh, this is a child practically just about to die in front of this man's in his arms. Like oh my god.
Like fucking see, like when Rocket Raccoon was like seeing Groot disappear, he was like, no, fucking,
And ooh, that almost broke my heart too because it's happening again.
yeah, like that one was like fucking heartbreaking. Um,
Groot didn't
when
even
I
get to
like,
be old this time.
and it was like when I was genuinely surprised when like they killed off Black Panther too, because I was just like, damn man, I for sure didn't think that they'd kill him off.
And I bet you no one thought that they were gonna kill Black Panther off. Now when he went to Okoye, I thought Okoye was gonna go down. So I was just like, oh man, she's gonna go. But then when I saw him go Nash, I literally screamed, "What? No fucking way!" And somebody literally was also with me on that. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
You're yelling from the theater. I know, right?
Like
And
what?
like that. Oh man, and like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I like another one that I was a little like wounded by
Mm,
was like when Falcon disappeared.
mm.
Not
I,
only
mm,
because like because this one's more on a personal level for me
mm,
because it's um like because two things happen. One is where he turns to ash and they start and like right after he turns to ash, there's that one part where like someone's passing by looking for him,
mm,
and I was like, oh man, that's like sad. That's like fucking from American Tail. Uh
mm,
but the other one is because I like you know that I listen to some other podcasts and stuff. One
mm,
of my favorite episodes that I like to listen to is from Nerdist, and it's when they're interviewing Anthony Mackie. So it's like I like the guy to
mm. Oh,
himself.
he's super cool.
Oh, he is funny, dude.
Mm.
And so it's like when I saw him, I was like, Anthony Mackie, no.
It's funny because like the first time I ever saw him in a movie was in 8 Mile. And he was like playing like somebody against Eminem. Did I look at him? He's dying in Nash. Oh man. No, not my
Here's
heart.
here's so what like which one was the part where you started like to choke up at?
Oh, Spider Man. Like I was
Oh,
just
okay.
like, you can't do this. Come on, no.
That one was fucked up because I was just like, oh my god, no, not Spider-Man.
Oh, and
Especially
two.
with his game coming out,
I know, right? This is like,
people
oh
are gonna
yeah,
buy
by
the
the
shit out of it. It's like
way.
I'm playing this in memory of Spider-Man.
You know, what if in his ashes you like look through the games there? Buy arcade.
Like what the fuck, Marvel?
Through my popcorn. Get the fuck out of here.
Game is said to be amazing, but in bad taste.
Oh, but I was gonna point out real quick because you actually brought up something. Okay, not because somebody's gonna take my words out of context. I know. I know not every black person or whatever didn't die because it just occurred to me. The person who was looking for him, I think, was Don Cheadle's character, War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah. So like, okay, he made it, but he's not an OG. Literally, it was
Yeah.
Terrence Howard before him. So,
But he did have that hotel.
yes. But yeah, like I just want to point that out. Don't get your panties in a bunch. I know that, but literally,
What am I supposed to do with this pile of bunched up panties now?
burn it. Run from it.
But okay, so here's one of the things I wanted to ask you because
Okay.
this is more like speculation.
Hmm.
But so let me ask you this.
Hmm.
What do you think was the point of that part? Because like when Thanos snaps his fingers and erases the life on the universe,
Hmm.
what do you think that one astral plane meant?
I think that was just him in his head, like him just kind of like he finally did it, and in his head is like he's doing that or whatever, or maybe okay. So there's two things I think could happen. One thing is that it was just kind of in his head, like yeah, I did it finally, whatever. Or two, when he snapped his fingers, he did two things. Basically, he was able to talk to the little Gamora again for that one little time before he went back. And two, he did the universe thing because I'm not sure. And correct me if I'm wrong, because somebody was trying to show me something when this was happening. When he snapped his fingers, was the gauntlet okay?
No, it got fucked up.
Okay, okay. So I think that's what happened. He used too much with those two things, and it's broken.
I don't think it's broken because you did see him use a portal to get out of there.
But can he do that
But
on his own? At least
no,
that's what I think.
that was the Space Gem.
Okay, yeah, it might have been Space Jam, but yeah. Um, so I'm thinking that's might have been what happened. He wanted to see Gamora one last time, and he also did it at the same time, and that used up the gauntlet to make it break like that.
Because you see, I have a theory about what that was.
What's that?
My theory is, and this is where like I say that like it ties into the whole original comic thing.
Mm.
Because I'm never the guy that goes to like, well, I saw the original source material, so like fucking.
Mm.
I think that was the Soul Gem.
Really?
Yeah,
What makes
because
you say that?
because for one thing, it was the soul for a soul thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It was the fact that he used Gamora's soul. So obviously, like when he tapped into like the whole power to wipe out the life from the Soul Gem.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing. It's did you get the handout too when you went to the theater?
No.
They're like, okay, because in my theater they gave out this like little booklet handout with like interviews and stuff like that, and then there's this like there's this page spread with the Infinity Gauntlet,
Mm-hmm.
and it lists out the stones, and when you get to the Soul Stone, it says power unknown and location unknown.
Mm.
So what I think, and again, this is speculation, I think that when he got the Soul Gem,
Mm-hmm.
it was like that's the Soul Gem is essentially powered by Gamora's soul. And
Mm.
so when he used the power of the gem, he also got like a glimpse of her. And I think that the soul gem, which again is basically Gamora's soul,
Mm.
is what's gonna stop Thanos in the second one.
Mm. Which is possible because they've already changed one big thing about the whole thing itself, which is because Doctor Strange goes too, and he's a big integral in the original thing with it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's possible, but like right now, the Avengers' biggest shot is Tony and Shuri's brain and Captain America, Captain Marvel's might.
Captain Marvel's might and Thor's might, because he also did manage to wound Thanos.
Yeah, he did, but I think Thanos is going to be ready for him next time. Because Thanos is probably like, what the fuck? And now that he
Yeah.
knows, I think he's going to be ready for him. So I think Thor will play a part. Don't get me wrong. They're all going to play a part. But I think it's really going to come down to Captain Marvel. Because they're really pushing her now.
Um,
I will say this: if it was the Sony, wait, who owns um, Fantastic Four? Is it Sony or Fox?
it was Fox.
Okay, so if it was the Fox Marvel version of Captain Marvel, holy shit! But since it's not, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with her.
I mean, I will say this, like with you saying that, I am a little worried that she might end up becoming a Mary Sue.
Well, I mean, technically, she kind of is. Well, no, not. Well, let me take that back. Okay, what happens with Captain Marvel is that, well, the original Captain Marvel ends up going to the world and ended up having to give his powers to Carol Danvers and stuff through other means and whatnot, which I'm not going to go into because that takes way too long. But
Plus, the origin's probably going to be different in the movie. So
yeah, it's probably going to be very different. And what she does is, in order to learn the powers, she has to go to the Kree world and learn it. Like, really learn and nurture and go into this. So, while at first glance it might seem like a Mary Sue thing, she's learned through years of experience because the movie is going to be like 1980s or something like that, or 1960s.
70s, 60s, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
somewhere there. So when she gets there, she's gonna be experienced. Like she's gonna know how to use her powers. Now, what they're gonna give her is in question. Because like she can give her the basic powers that everybody knows, but then she has all this other shit that can really do some damage.
Right.
But this is because like I know this isn't gonna happen, so I'm just gonna go out and say it. If it was like Marvel Fox deal, she will be able to bring Galactus to the thing.
Yeah, because like because I'm one of those people that doesn't know about Captain Marvel.
Mm.
So my biggest worry is that when they if they do Captain Marvel,
Mm.
that she's gonna be like all the worst parts on the big screen, you know, because it would be like she's a Mary Sue, like she's like a joyless character, you know, like serious and fucking like, you know, you don't really want to root for her because you don't really care, you don't like her character.
Oh no, she's gonna be like a Ray, basically.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that because they're gonna have her established in a movie beforehand, before we get to that big fight thing with the next Avengers Part Two.
Yeah.
So like what they're probably gonna do is she's gonna be stumbling a lot in that movie. Like, oh, I can fly. Like go through a building or something.
Comedy.
But like that's probably what they're gonna do. They're gonna see her guy go through the powers, and then she's gonna be like, oh, I can do whatever, and then fuck up really bad, and then have to go to the Kree world to really go and train and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean like because that's like we'll see how it plays out because like that's what I'm saying, like what I want to see, because this is me, like what I would want to see for Avengers 4 is I mean, of course I want my theory to be right, that it's like it turns out like the Soul Stone works against Thanos because it's Gamora.
Hmm.
I do want like the OG of some of the OG Avengers to die.
Hmm.
So I want it to be like the last fight would be with like most, if not all, the OG Avengers.
Hmm.
because I would want it to be like like what was it, like 2012 or something like that when the movie came out, or fucking something like that.
2012. When which movie?
First Avengers.
2012. I feel like it was a bit earlier than that, but maybe it was 2012.
Well, like whatever year it was though, but it's like, yeah, I want it to be something where it's just like oh my God, yeah, I'm getting a tear because like I saw that movie, and like fucking this is how they're going out, and like uh they could still make it like a tearjerker for me, and like that's what I want.
Hmm. Oh,
Plus like
it's gonna be some chair sharking.
yeah, and if it's gonna be like that thing of like, oh, like this is how like some of the Avengers who are gonna stop, like who are gonna go out are gonna say goodbye. You want it to be like that because Chris, like Captain America's gonna die in the next one for sure.
Oh yeah, there's too many people who are able to take his place now in the universe. There's literally three
Yeah,
people now.
yeah. So it's like you want, if they are gonna like get killed and everything, you want to have a moment where you can just like fucking be like you can cry. You want to make a movie like that they can cry, and since they did manage to successfully make Thanos a character where it's just like you can actually agree with like his version of genocide.
Mm.
If they could make that, I feel like they can make like a scene where like a moment where like people will be like bawling coming out of the theater.
Mm-hmm. Then like the way I'm, because this is where I'm like seeing it possibly happening, going down. Yes, Captain America's gonna die. Iron Man is good chance of dying. Thor is iffy because he just got a new weapon, and they could do some stuff with like Buffalo Bill and shit with him on that.
Oh, you mean Beta Ray Bill?
Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, isn't he a cowboy?
Sure. Yeah, those two are definitely gonna go. And they're probably gonna be like almost beaten and whatnot, and then maybe what you're saying is probably gonna happen, and when he's gonna try to like do the finishing blow on the rest of them, and it's gonna stop. He's not gonna be able to use the thing, and then Carol probably blows him away with binary.
Yeah, because like, I guess you could say that like what I wouldn't want the most is, because I know like, I kind of sound like kind of against Captain Marvel, but it's just like I haven't seen anything of hers or anything like that.
You're against women. I knew it.
What? But
you can
I
find
just
him at
like
this address.
the way that you're like kind of building her up. I'm kind of like I don't want her to steal the spotlight.
Oh yeah, she's definitely gonna have a big spotlight on her because honestly, at this point, no one can really touch Thanos that's there anymore. Hulk won't Hulk. They really don't have at this point. They don't have a weapon to really go against him. There's no one really to touch him at this point.
They still have the Stormbreaker.
The Stormbreaker.
The axe.
Oh well, Thor, but like I said, he's already gonna be ready for that now. Like, you can't hit him with that surprise anymore.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like he's Doomsday, where he's just like, oh, well, now all of a sudden I got hit with the Stormbreaker, so now I'm invincible to the Stormbreaker.
Yeah, but he's also smarter than Doomsday.
Oh, God, so he's that bad Doomsday.
Like, literally, like, this Thanos is, although he's there, different motivation, if he's like the one in the comics, he's not going to get hit by that again. He might not be able to hit the Stormbreaker, but he can do something to Thor himself.
Like, because what I'm just saying is that like this is something that they can use to damage. I'm not saying like, oh, well, they're gonna try the same surprise attack again. I'm just saying like this is something that can hurt him.
I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but like they're gonna need like a super plan, and they're gonna need Carol probably for that plan.
And I'm sure she's gonna be like necessary to the plan. I'm just saying, what I don't want is I don't want it to be like, hey, here's a freaking Captain Marvel, and she did like 80% of the work.
But see, I feel like that's gonna happen. Not like 80%, by God, no. But I feel like she's gonna do way more heavy lifting than a lot of the others are there, because they're not at that level.
Well, no, yeah, because like I'm sure that, like there's gonna be like a lot of the heavy lifting is gonna be done by Hulk, by Thor, and by
Hopefully
Captain Marvel. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that like the reason why Hulk doesn't want to come out is because he's scared.
Yeah, I mean, he's a child for the most
Yeah,
part. He got his ass
exactly.
kicked.
Yeah, that's like the first time he legit got his ass kicked. So that's why I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty sure that's why he won't come out.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of the heavy lifting was done by like those characters, and then like a lot of the smaller stuff from like Captain America and all the other guys. I'm just saying I don't want it to be like the most heavy lifting was done by Captain Marvel, then Thor, and Thor and Hulk are in the same spot, second place, and then everyone else third. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't want.
I think that's
I
what's
want
gonna happen, though, dude. I'm
I want it
sorry.
to be an even mixing. It's just because you're trying to form your sick feminist agenda on us. I'm just kidding.
That's it. Yeah, about that person who hates women.
But
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 no,
nah, so that's like that's what I don't want to see.
I think literally I'm not gonna guarantee you anything until I see the first Captain
You totally
America
want
movie.
to.
Until I see the Captain America movie, I'm not gonna guarantee anything. But as of right now, I see it being 60%
Marvel.
her and the rest everybody else. And it's
Oh,
just because
man.
she's the only one at that level to really do something that's not he hasn't seen before. Like with Thor, I get what you're saying. He has the Stormbreaker, but he knows it's there now, and all he has to do is freaking do what he did to Drax to Thor. Hey, now you're rubbery shit.
For Drax, it was he turned him into blocks.
Well, I mean Mantis.
Ah.
But yeah, like that's all he has to do. He didn't have to do with the weapon. He just has Thor. Turn the weapon into bubbles.
But wait a minute, he also blasted the Stormbreaker with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he still got hit.
No, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have to hit the weapon, but he can hit Thor.
Ah.
That's
I don't know, like we'll see, because like that's like the biggest pitfall I don't want to see happen. But I mean, like I'm sure that like I'm sure that like the next one's gonna be like insane.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that's for sure. Like despite all our bickering and our speculation, you just know that the next one's gonna be good.
Absolutely, it's gonna be absolutely nutsy cuckoo. I just have my critic gripes. That's it. Everything else, perfect.
Like this is kind of why I don't have separate rating systems, because then it's just like, well, because I'd be like, what were my critic ratings again?
So like I said, critic rating 8 out of 10. Actual rating for me 10 out of 10.
Way to confuse you, I guess. I'm just kidding. But yeah, for me, it's like it's a 9.5. That movie is amazing, and you'll leave like fucking like, what the hell just happened?
Oh yeah, like you'll legit be like, wait, I have to contemplate this.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, just the fact that like just the fact that they say or like because you can actually say to someone the villain won, that already like throw people off like crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I believe that is it for us.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed the reviews. I know this is a longer one, but I wanted the first one to be the big one. So, we
Avengers
did that.
style.
Avengers style. Thanos style. Get fucked style.
Oh no, Jess, I'm turning into dust.
Oh no! I am also turning. But I guess we will catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for listening. Anything you want to add, Moopsy?
Remember to give us dollars.
All the dollars. All your monies.
Like your base.
And also remember to check out Moopsy at Twitch at Mr. Moopsy, god damn it.
They will when I start to stream.
Bye.
Later.